Tonight, our attention is also on the Edo State governorship election, which was held a few weeks ago. The election saw the emergence of Senator Monday Okpebholo as governor of the state, taking over from Governor Obaseki, who has served 2 terms. Tonight, joining us is the Chancellor and the founder of the Athena Center, who will be shedding light on the center's recently released report on the Edo State governorship election. The report delves into critical aspects of the election, including the conduct of the electoral process, results compilation, the veracity of the outcome, and the integrity of the results collation methods as the dust settles on what has been a highly discussed election. We're keen to understand the key findings, the implications for the electoral reform, and the recommendations for the future. I'm being joined by our former Minister of Aviation, Mr. Osita Chidoka, who is the founder of the Athena Center. He's located here in Abuja. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you, Sean.
Appreciate it. Yes. The last time we had a conversation about Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi election.
Yes.
Because a lot of uproar, and I'm very sure that you got a lot of response from it, and a lot of people who had pointed about your partisanship as though you were a politician, and whether or not they could believe, and you are giving the disclaimer on what you do presently.
Yes. So it doesn't matter what people think. Fact speaks for itself. Data is data. So if you have contrary data, you provide it. If you don't, but I will address that at the end of this conversation. So we move.
You are still a non-partisan person, or have you?
Yes. At the end of this, we will take that.
All right. Let's jump to the screen and see what we can distillate from the issues here.
Yes.
Of course, you can come, please. Yeah. And of course, let's look at some of the issues that you have raised. For example, you began your inquisition. You said compromised by design,
yes.
The fragile integrity of INEC's technology.
Yes.
That is how you describe the process. What brought you to this realization?
Because this is the very first time that I'm seeing a compromised systemic effort to rig an election in Nigeria. I mean, it was done pre the beavers, pre the card reader. But now, for the very first time, I am shocked. I am totally distressed that an institution will put its reputation at stake for the purpose of an election.
Which is INEC.
Which is INEC.
So you think INEC was highly compromised there?
This is compromised by design. The election in Edo State.
Let's get a sense of this is the summary of
what
this
is the summary.
Lack of transparency, discrepancies in the voter
registration, incidents of overvoting, manipulation at the Ward Collation Center, and results viewing portal.
These are the layers of what your findings are.
The layers of what we saw.
Yeah. So let's go further.
This is our methodology.
Okay.
So we requested for freedom of information. INEC gave us certified true copies of EC8B, EC8C, EC8D, and the 40G. So we collected some of them from INEC, but we didn't get all. Again, this election was an election where a Sako West local government, 11 wards, was not delivered, and Ipoboka, 1 ward. So we have a total of 323 polling units that was not involved in this. We wrote to the 3 political parties and said, do you have this? PDP said they don't. Labour said they don't. We didn't get a response from APC. But none of the parties had these 343 polling units that were missing.
All right, for the sake of our viewers that are watching tonight, the forms here that we're talking about are the forms statutorily provided under the law and the rules and regulation guiding the operations of INEC. The EC8 forms, EC8A,
EC8B are the polling units, EC8Bs are the ward collation, EC8Cs are the local government's collation, EC8D is the state result.
So it's important for our conversation that you understand these forms, as they will provide a very good understanding into the findings of Athena Center. So these are the methodologies that you use. Let's find out. The state at the
state, this is just a snapshot. 18 local government, 192 wards, 451, 4,519 polling units, and 2.6 million registered voters.
All right. So now, from there, we saw
the INEC announced results.
This result as it was pronounced.
291,000 for APC, 242,000 for PDP, and 22,000 for Labour. This is as announced by INEC.
And of course, the man that was declared winner there, the governor of Edo State, Monday Okwebelo of the APC, yes, who was said to have polled 291,667 votes. Well, so what are the data that we have? What do we know?
So let's start here. So from the IREV, we downloaded 4,466 polling units. Of these, 4,410 were valid. 109 were excluded because 53 polling units were not uploaded to IREV, 36 PUs were cancelled, and 14 polling units with illegible results. It could not be read. And 4 polling units result with no votes. So there was a result, but there were no votes. And then there is one EC60E, which is the polling unit result that you're supposed to put out at the polling unit. So one of the presiding officers snapped it and uploaded. And then there is a EC25E, only one was uploaded. Now, the 180 words given to us by INEC.
One thing that I'll tell anybody that has an open, pending personal injury claim, it's important to be an advocate for yourself.
363 PUs were not given. Of the 4156, 164 were excluded. 10 PUs recorded as cancelled, according to INEC. 153 PUs were not accounted for. That is to say, there were no results. And 1 PU was with an illegible result. So we had 4156 polling units from INEC, but we ended up with 3,992 that were valid polling units.
So problem was that INEC didn't have all the results.
363 polling units are missing until today.
And INEC,
and we wrote to the Edo State, wrote to the National, and after that, we wrote to the 3 parties, asking them, did you get this result? But those results were on the IREV. So, but they were not given to us on the EC8B. So we didn't see the breakdown of what was recorded on the word collation from the polling units.
So what you got now is the EC8 8 results, the BVAS result, and you are able to extrapolate and make sense of it. Yeah, based on what you have.
Yes. So those are the 11 wards not given by INEC, 11 wards in Esako West, 284 polling units, and 1 ward from Ikpoboka, which
so
is
people should understand
units.
the implication of when we say ward. It means that it's almost like a village or hamlet in some places. In fact, in some places, it's almost a town.
It's a political unit.
Yeah.
It's created by, they have 192 in Edo State. So there are 192 wards, which constitute a local government. Mm-hmm. So the polling units are the base where everybody votes. Then there is a ward. Then it is called the residential area in the INEC lingo.
So the idea right here is these 284, because some people might be wondering, 11 wards and you have 284 polling units. The polling unit is where you go to vote. That place where you have the cubicle and all of that, that is a polling unit. And so you have all of these 284 in the 11 wards.
In
so
Esako West.
And
then 77 in 1 ward from Ikpoboka.
Yeah. Now, so if you look at this, you said they gave EC8 4G.
40G is the result, that is the form that shows cancelled elections where elections did not hold. So INEC only gave us 6 polling units in the EC40G, but there were more polling units that were cancelled.
So 3 polling units in Akoko Edo
and 3 polling units in Ikpoboka. Yes.
So that's what you have. Now, let's move forward.
Now, this is where the problem starts, and this is a serious problem. In the EC8A forms we downloaded from IREV, we accounted for 580,000 accredited voters. Mark that word, 580,000. When INEC gave us the BVAS report that we requested for, we saw 687,427 as the number of accredited voters. Now, if you go to the EC8B, the 180 they gave us, the number of accredited voters there was 541. 541,283. So 323 were missing from this, but they had 541. So if you probably sum it up, it will give you something around 580. Now, in the EC8D, the one the returning officer announced to the world as the result of the election, they had 604 accredited voters. Now, they had 577 used ballot papers. That is not in contention. 577,000 ballot papers were used. But INEC said that the people who saw the voters, the people who accredited, the people who counted the votes and recorded came with 580,000 accredited voters. But the INEC back end gave us 687. When we reviewed it, we saw that there were 794 polling units where INEC had randomly increased the number of votes. Some as much as 1,400 increased the number of votes in those polling units to get to 687. Our suspicion is that the last election, we used the BVAS as the gold standard to check for inconsistency, and you could see the inconsistency. But in this election, by this singular act of INEC, we are not able to now say what went wrong with the election, because the number of accredited voters are 100,000 more than the number of accredited voters that was accounted for at the polling unit.
So now, in essence, the BVAS machine,
Yes.
is supposed to be the detector. It's supposed to be the conscience of the election.
Absolutely.
It means that you use it for accreditation, and you use it for the confirmation and authorization. So you swipe your card reader on it.
Absolutely no way you have more people accredited than the voters, because once you accredit, you vote. They give
naturally, what should happen is if there are 500 people on the BVAS, and you have 510 ballot paper, you know there's a problem over voting. But in this case now,
they have
the BVAS have been tampered with. Because the results, all the manual results are saying different.
Something less from the BVAS.
So the BVAS is on its own.
This is the yes. And these 794 polling units with inflated BVAS records were predominant in the central and southern senatorial zone. So from Esan North, Ipoboha, Oredo, Esan Central, Umode, and Akoko up to Lagos, you will see a high number of BVAS accreditation is the brown one. It is much higher than the EC8A accreditation, EC8B accreditation,
which is an anomaly.
If you're between 40 and 85, get the facts today that could help keep your family financially protected with up to $20,000 cash in final expense income. Funeral.
Big anomaly. And this is, for me, the most egregious act of the INEC, because the fundamental principle of the election is that the accreditation by the BVAS is supposed to be sacrosanct. It's supposed to be the determinant of what happened. Now, the INEC back-end server is saying that the people who saw the voters, the people who accredited them, did not record it correctly.
So
that we are the ones who
let me
recorded
allow you to explain better to Nigerians. So EC8A is the result sheet that you saw that the INEC from the polling
was
unit,
uploaded.
When the result was announced, when you were hearing APC, PDP, Labour Party, and at the end of the day they said 1,200 people came to this polling unit. These people voted this party. These people voted this party. It means that most of the results that you saw on the EC8A are way lower, which is supposed to tell you exactly the number of people. And those results were the results posted on the polling unit wall.
What we did here is that the polling units, the 794 polling units, this is it here. The EC8A recorded 81,000, EC8B recorded 112,000, EC8, the BVAS recorded 223,000.
That's about double
of those
of the
794
EC8A.
polling units.
Yeah.
Yes. Despite that inflation, we still went through all the polling units and we still saw overvoting, because they did it in 794 polling units. So there was about 2,000 plus polling units where they didn't increase the BVAS. So here again, we saw overvoting in Ipoboha, in Esako East, in Akoko Edo, Esako West, and Ovia North local government and Ego. So it was rampant across the state, but it was highest in the central and the south, and some of the northern local governments. So party votes distribution of the inflation we saw, APC got 24,000 votes, LP got 1,254, and PDP got 14,000 votes. That is of these polling units where there were
discrepancies,
have been noticed between the BVAS and the EC8A accreditation.
EC8B, yeah.
This one is where the EC8A is higher than the BVAS accreditation. Then we saw that despite that error, 140 PU, 75% of the 186 polling units with overvoting were transferred to Form EC8B. So what it meant is that when the results came to the ward collation, the ward collation officer ought to have looked at the BVAS physically, confirmed the number on it, and then enter the results. But they didn't do that. They transferred this overvoting to the EC8B. So again, we have BVAS accreditation at 17,000, EC8B at 25,000, total vote cast at 25,084. So, and of that, APC got 14,000, LP 1,003, and PDP 7,926.
In that discrepancy.
In that discrepancy. Now, we observed that 32,000 votes over what was recorded in Form EC8A for APC in 328 polling units were added. We also observed a reduction in the PDP votes in 227 of that 228 polling units. So now, 328 polling units where APC votes were inflated. So in Oredo, in Akoko-Edo, in Ego, in Ipoboha, and in Esan North. Now, you come here, PDP votes were reduced in these places, Oredo, Akoko-Edo, Esan North, and Ipoboha. So if you look at this, what I call the flashpoint, APC votes were inflated by 44,917. In EC8B, that's what it became. In EC8A, they had 12,633. Now, in EC8B, in these 328 polling units, they rose to 44,917. PDP votes were 15,732 in EC8A. They reduced it to 6,795 in EC8B.
But the trend and the pattern is showing that there is an advantage to the APC votes.
Yes.
And there is a disadvantage to the
PDP.
PDP more.
Units,
Labour Party,
yes.
Labour Party has less of the impact, but PDP has more
PDP
of the impact.
Reduced. So this is what we saw in 328 polling units. There was discrepancy between EC8A and what happened in EC8B. So now, we observed that in addition, there was an addition of 2,285 votes over what was recorded in EC8A for PDP in 93 polling units. PDP got 2,285 votes additional in 93 polling units. We also observed a reduction of APC votes in 15 of the 93 polling units. So if PDP was strong here, what we saw was that APC votes were 3,015. It was reduced to 1,185. PDP votes were 3,613. It was increased to 5,890.
So this was the benefit of the PDP here.
This to the benefit of PDP.
APC lost about 2,000
votes. Yes.
Yeah.
2,000 votes over what was recorded was now added for PDP.
In this, to the advantage of the PDP.
Yes. In 93 polling units. Yes, we saw that. Then we observed the addition of 6,000 votes over what was recorded in Form EC8A for Labour Party in 290 polling units. So Labour Party scored 827 votes in those polling units. Then we saw 6,974 recorded for them. So if you look at it, APC votes trend in LP inflated areas. APC had 18,555, and their votes rose to 38,775. So we suspect they may have added some vote for LP to hide what was going on.
Or Labour Party had added vote to itself.
Well,
whichever the case
may be, but it just happened that it was still in the same polling units where APC votes rose that we saw this Labour discrepancy. So I think that based on our last analysis, there was an effort to hide what was happening by destroying evidence. So INEC went ahead and damaged the BVAS.
If you've ever dreamed of owning an apartment complex and you live near one of these cities, then you've got to see the same ad that I saw 3 years ago. It was for a masterclass that came to my area. I now own 11 apartment complexes, 1,963 doors under management.
And then went into the votes and just scattered votes across the places. So you never really could see what happened in the electoral office. But, you know, our system is far more intelligent than that. It was able to pick some of these things up.
Now, in all of this, you are saying vote inflation at the World Collation Center have highlighted vulnerabilities in the collation process and opportunities for electoral malpractice. Now, you said you've discovered the reduction of a total of 4,740 votes for APC
in 106 polling units
in the ward collation.
Yes.
That is
after they added 36,000, then there was a reduction in 4,740. So net value, they got about 28,000 net votes added to them.
This is what this has shown us.
This is what this has shown us now. Now, vote reduction at ward collation, we observed 11,665 votes, PDP votes in 325 polling units were reduced. So PDP lost from 23,000 to 11,000 vote reduction in 325 polling units. So we thought that that action in the ward collation of tampering with results, what we are showing here is that, this election did not just happen. It was faced with serious misdemeanor by the election managers.
And it looks to me that most of the work was done at the ward level.
At the ward level. It was done at the ward collation level. Now, these are samples of, what we saw. So if you look at this discrepancy between IREV EC8A and CTC EC8A, I will be disappointed if the judiciary in Nigeria does not say something about the fact that the CTC given by INEC was not the same thing as the IREV results that was uploaded. This happened across the local government. Now, we just put some examples here just to show you what it looks like. This is a CTC stamped by INEC, and it was totally different from the CTC.
So let's break it down.
The
CTC is a certified true copy.
Certified true copy.
Which is legally acceptable, and this is the process of which you can lay your evidence in court to make that those results are acceptable and tenable in court, compared to the one that was uploaded on the IRF. So there are differences. There are discrepancies. And what it showed also was that there are overvoting, isn't it?
Overvoting. So we saw that from the INEC received. We got this from INEC. So
there are different results at different levels.
And different levels. So we saw the differences. We are going to put all of this on our website. So some of them we got from other third parties, and some from our own review with the EC8B. We saw the vote reductions. So these are the results from EC8A, and this is in EC8B where the votes were reduced. So
vote
we pointed
reduction,
out vote inflation,
overvoting, and discrepancies.
This is the most egregious of the discrepancies. It is in the same standard with what happened to the Beavers. For the Beavers to say that they have 674,000 against 580 is a major destruction of the trust of Nigerians in the electoral process. So this one is another egregious behavior. The resident electoral officer, the people who worked in Edo State, who gave certified true copies of results that were different from what they uploaded to the IRF. I mean, it's totally egregious.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adam Ferrari, and I am the CEO of Phoenix Capital Group. We look forward to you joining us.
So this is our verdict, right? The result of the Edo election cannot be deemed credible because it failed to meet our basic integrity standards due to substantial interference in the electoral process by the umpire.
This interference, you are linking it to INEC. INEC at what level?
Evidence of systemic rigging observed in this election is so substantial that we cannot call the result. Because if we do the maths, if we bring out all the polling units that have no issues, and we deduct the 36,000 we gave, APC got 32,000, and the reduction in PDP and give it, PDP slightly has an edge in the election. But we cannot call it because the election fundamentally is faulty. The evidence of systemic rigging is so substantial that we think that this election should not be allowed to stand. If this stands, then there is no election in 2027.
So I'm asking this question so that we can point the fingers to whom is to blame.
Yes.
Now, in this case, we need to identify those to blame.
Yes.
This interference, at what level of INEC do you think this would have come?
The back-end tampering with the bimodal voter accreditation system, the BVAS, is done at the national.
So there was a back-end.
There's a back-end tampering. Yes, that added votes in 794.
So BVAS can be remotely manipulated.
That's what they're telling us now. And it must be by the managers of the election. It can't be by an external person. But this was a certified true copy, stamped, signed by INEC that they gave us.
Or the other way is that, and I'm thinking for someone who understands a bit of the technology of that device. Possibility that there are preloaded results before the election even happened, because
I don't know how
the beavers. I mean, I'm just trying
this
to.
is the back
because
end report. This is not the beavers.
Okay,
So this is the back end report that somebody printed out.
Okay,
and gave you.
not
So
the
not the physical machine,
Yeah.
because the physical machines ought to have been inspected by the ward collation officers, and I believe some of them did, which is why the result of the accreditation did not change.
So
between the EC8A and EC8B.
So this is what
wasn't
happened with the
substantial.
beavers. This is how it works.
Yes.
The beavers is like a telephone. You
Yes.
capture all of the data because it has all of every beavers for every polling unit has all the records.
Correct.
And the registration and the register
Correct.
of everybody in the polling unit.
Yes.
After all the process, you as the official, you're supposed to upload and send.
Yes.
Now, that's why I'm saying that whatever that was sent from the beavers that was seen at the back end that was printed may have been preloaded, or because I don't know.
No, it couldn't have been, because at the point when they were recording what was on the beavers, they recorded what they
saw.
Yes, what they saw.
Okay, so I see what you mean.
What was happening happened at the back end.
At the back end.
Yes, that's what happened.
So we need to be finding out
who tampered with the back end.
Was it being done in Benin City or Abuja?
It was done in Abuja. Where is the clear disparities between from EC8A uploaded to IREV and INEC certified true copies? This is something to be thoroughly investigated. It is criminal.
I give blood because I can, and because it's an easy opportunity for me to save lives.
I donate blood because 6 years ago, my brother was diagnosed with aplastic anemia. Over the years, he's had to get continuous blood transfusions. I donate.
Whoever tampered with it should be held. Instances of electoral malpractices carried out by presiding and collation officers were rampant, very rampant. So go back one slide. So these are the names of the people who committed these heists.
Samples.
These are just a random sample of them. We randomly selected some. So overvoting the presiding officers, Roland, Idowu, Ekpe Mary, Idarobong, Osage Gift. These are the people who are presiding officers. At the
under whose
watch, the results were
these are
tampered with. Yes, we saw overvoting. Under the sustaining overvoting, the collation officers who didn't now check what was in the beavers before collating, these are their names: Aaron Williams, Ibrahim, and it's a national, so it wasn't from any ethnic group in particular. And then the vote inflation collation officers who now added votes at the point of collation. We listed their names.
Or who's under watch. This was what happened. Yes. Because their names, they're supposed to be in charge of the process.
Correct.
But if at their level this has happened, we need to hold them accountable.
Yes. So now,
you have also gone further.
Why did
to hold some people accountable?
Controversial people to Edo State. Now, this is Dr. Anubu Onoha. He's a resident electoral commissioner. They say he has a PhD in law. He is the honorable minister's cousin. He's a known PDP sympathizer. He's a former commissioner of lands in Rivers State. Why make him an electoral commissioner? Because under his watch, the CTC numbers are not tallying. We can't get enough of the CTC reports. All the other electoral commissioners in Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi, we got the full results. Under his watch, you couldn't get it.
That's the fault of the appointer.
Yes, of the person who appointed him. He ought not to have been a resident electoral commissioner.
And those who also screened
him.
So if you identify some of these issues, I mean, it's also...
So now let's go to Professor Rhoda Gomos. She's a National Electoral Commissioner for South-South. Controversial. Her appointment as INEC Commissioner generated so many reports. People complained that she was a card-carrying member of the All Progressive Party and a prominent political figure in Edo State. And she is the person who came to supervise the election. Professor Farouk Adamu Kuta was a Edo returning officer. He's a professor. He is from Shiroro in Niger State. Professor of microbiology. Brilliant guy. Multiple publications online. But as returning officer, he has the authority to make decisions on key issues related to voting and counting process. However, he didn't use his authority because all the protests made in the election, he didn't go into at least randomly certifying some of them to check. So we believe that he's culpable in not exercising the duty of care under the law and right under the law to ensure that the electoral process is done correctly.
Let's look at what can be done. And now, you have said that global standard.
Global standard. Everywhere in the world, elections are controversial. So there are mistakes, there are issues, but everybody in the world has a post-election audit to verify what is being said. Yeah. That's why we were waiting for days in some counties in America, because after the counting, there's a verification that is done. In the United States, Colorado, Georgia, and Pennsylvania, they compare a statistically significant sample of paper ballots to the reported results. In Germany, they manually recount to ensure this.
And you
Then
also identify
in Mexico,
India,
and India.
Yeah.
I want to point out Mexico and India because they're like Nigeria. There's a formal audit involving a detailed recount and validation process for polling station certificates, starting the Wednesday after the election day to ensure consistency. So immediately after election on Saturday, on Wednesday, the recount begins. The audit by third party begins to ensure that what was announced is what is correct. India have a random selection of their slips and is matched with the electronic voting machine to be sure that the results are good. Canada does it under their judiciary. They review the results. So everybody does it. So this is what we suggested for Nigeria. We can institutionalize, leverage technology, comprehensive validation, but we need a governance structure. So the next slide. We now want to talk about INEC, investing in technology, building public confidence, promoting accountability.
Welcome to Kay Hovnanian's Four Seasons at the Ranch, a 55-plus community in Rancho Cordova, California.
Strengthening the institution. But more important, we think and we believe that the president needs to listen to this. He needs to reorganize and depoliticize INEC. INEC as an institution has lost credibility. The election in Ondo, nobody cared in Nigeria. People didn't know there was an election going on. People didn't care because people just felt this was it. So appointing commissioners and electoral officers based on merit and integrity is critical. And then they must implement a technology governance system. The National Assembly must make a rule on how these third-party audits must occur after election. And then mandatory post-election audits. We must start the day after the election. We have 7 days. INEC has 7 days to review. We need to review 7 days. And then we need to restore electoral integrity. And we need to limit INEC's discretion in collation and result management. So I think we should do away with local government and collation and the local government and state collation. We should just do the basic result from the polling unit, uploaded straight to the IREV, and from there to the result collation center. And then we can verify what happened against it. But they need to legislate against electoral mismanagement. People can't just keep getting away
without holding them accountable.
And
Electoral
for me,
Justice Commission.
looking at this, I'm thinking that any political party that goes for a 2007 election under this election management system is doomed to lose. The election is a fait accompli. It's done because they can tamper with the beavers at the back end. They can print different result sheets and give them. And for me, I'm committing to making sure that we make these things work. So earlier today, I just sent a letter to my ward in Anambra State, resigning officially from the PDP. I'm taking a non-partisan state. I'm leaving the PDP. I'm leaving politics for some time. I'm focusing on the Athena Center. I will work in concert with other Nigerians who want us to reform the political system, to bring evidence-based governance, and to support it. So I'm no longer a member of the People's Democratic Party.
Wow, that's a big announcement and breaking news. Osita Chidoka is out of the People's Democratic Party. But kudos and well done to you and your colleagues at the Athena Center. We're looking forward to the Ondo report.
Yes,
and of course,
the
report, of course, is on the Athena Center website. You can go there and find it. Thank you so much, Osita Chidoka. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you,
but that's our show for tonight. If you have other results different from all the reports, different from this, you can bring it on. That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching.
Crazy. Hey, oh my God. So this Edo election that they did, well, I don't know. I mean, they did, Aswa did say he was going to go to court. Anyways, I wasn't holding my breath. I was not about to do that because what's the point? What's the point of doing that? What's the point of doing that? I wasn't about to do that because we don't see things now for Nigeria, how they take Duam, how, what they made, the nonsense they made, the way they made the rubbish of the situation. We saw all of that. So I wasn't holding my breath. I wasn't even paying attention to what was going on in the courthouse, to what they were doing. I wasn't paying any attention at all. I'll be honest. I didn't pay any mind to it because to me, I just felt like Nigerian election, very unpredictable. It's very easy for them to say, go to court. That's the easiest. All the elections, last election, that's what they did. during the 2023 election, after they rigged it, in your face type of rigging, brutal, very, very evil way of rigging, right? They said go to court, right? And we know the rest is history. We all know what happened. There's no need repeating ourselves, right? So that's exactly how I took the Edo election. I haven't been following up. I don't even pay attention to the news about it because I'm like, you don't enter voicemail. Nobody should be talking about Edo election anymore because it has entered voicemail. They've done what they want to do. They've gotten what they want to get. And that's it about that. I moved on. But I found this, somebody shared this with me and I was completely blown away. Like, wow. The type of rigging that they did in Edo State. Damn. Yeah. The type of rigging that they did, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. You guys listen to him. You hear what he said. I'm glad that he mentioned the names of the people. I'm wishing him luck. I hope that somehow, I kind of like this energy that people are, that I'm beginning to observe about certain people. I'm grateful to this guy, for presenting it the way he did. And I'm wishing him luck that he succeeds in doing his own part to ensure we have confidence in our elections in Nigeria. Like I said, and you guys are aware, I don't see an election in 2027, but this is just my opinion, right? But hey, if anything can happen, and it does happen, and it brings about the desired change, who am I, right? I will definitely welcome it with open arms because that's what we want anyway. That's what we want. We want things to change. We want things to move forward. We want children to have hope in Nigeria. As it stands, nobody has hope in Nigeria. Nobody. Not children, not parents, not your uncle, not your auntie. Nobody has. There's no hope. As this Christmas, they come now, as it's creeping in, people don't know where they're going to get their next meal. Things have gotten worse. And I hear that the electoral bill, no, not the electoral bill, I'm sorry, the tax bill has caused a lot of ruckus. The Northerners are pissed. A lot of them are pissed about it. So it's looking like 2027 is going to be interesting. Leading up to 2027, the things that are going to be happening is going to be interesting to observe. And I'm here for it. I really, really am here for it. I'm wishing Aso Ighodalo the best. I hope he wins. I hope that the court does what it's supposed to do because it was obvious that he won the last election. It was so obvious. I'm glad that this guy was able to look and really analyze the loopholes and mention the guilty parties, name them and shame them. I hope by some sliver of chance that he does win in court. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any hope in any system in Nigeria, but for what it's worth, I'm wishing him, I'm sending him good energy, right? So that he is the rightful owner. He's the one who won the election. It was snatched from him, like they snatched Peter Obi's election, right? So we'll see how it goes, We'll see how it goes. Kene, welcome. Oh, good evening. Welcome. Why even vote when caught with? I'm telling you, right? It doesn't make any sense. That's because the Nigerian system is flawed. There's no system. Let me put it that way. There's no system. It's so flawed. There's no system at all. Because if there was a system, there's no need for you to vote and then go to court. It doesn't make any sense. Everything should be resolved at the collation center. If the number not tally, okay, people dig ground. Okay, you bring your okay, all right, let's match. That's how it ought to be. But no, clearly they're not doing that because they don't care. They don't want people to know the truth. They don't want the right thing to be done. With the beavers, the IRF, they will go behind and do what. You heard what he said. The numbers were not tallying. The certified copy that was given, right, by the what's it called? By the electoral people, it was different. They were adding numbers for APC, adding numbers. even in senatorial districts where APC clearly won, they didn't have to add numbers. That's to show you how mindless they were doing this thing. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Well, make I play another video for now. It's crazy, to me. I don't know.
Hello and welcome to News Round, where we bring you a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. Coming up, ruckus over tax reform bills at the upper chamber of the National Assembly, as some senators protest the entry of the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. And President Bola Tinubu strengthens ties with President Emmanuel Macron in key sectors. Former governor of Kogi State has pleaded not guilty to a 16-count charge bordering on alleged fraud.
I'm sorry, guys. This wasn't the video I wanted to share. Let me go back here. This is not the one. Where is it? Oh, shoot. Sorry.
It's here. This is.
Through decades of war and conflict.
Till he gets here, let's clap, clap unto the Lord. You see the way generals do their thing, they have to salute.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. My goodness. Lord, I thank you for this occasion. There will be no protocols except to call each and every one of you my brothers and sisters in Christ. But let us say that it is not only peace on the plateau, peace in Nigeria. All the various crises that we're having in Nigeria is so disturbing. This is something which God knows, Father, one we should not be having. After our civil war, I prayed to God that I hope Nigeria will not go through another period of crisis that we went through, when a lot of Nigerians right the way through. And I will thank some of the young people that I hear. They were young people, that's why I refer to them as young people, who helped me to ensure that we end the whole crisis and to bring peace, to ensure peace throughout the country. And that was what happened. And later on, I do not know what happened. And Nigerians started trying to destroy themselves. Let us pray to God that we are now beginning to see the end of all this crisis. Pray to God so that God can touch the hearts of all those who are that way inclined to create problems for Nigeria. Pray to God for God to touch their hearts, change them, reform,
and make them contributors to peace and well-being of one another, of Nigerians, of one another, Nigerians. Former head of state here, and we thank God because a moment ago, I think we had a story, of somebody who was being decreed to die, and by God's grace, it wasn't. And a moment ago, our host, had said, I brought the greetings, of my wife to all of you here. And I want to sort of bring one story that you probably need to know. At that time, we were in Nigeria when the sentence was being done to General Obasanjo. And honestly, I feel so bad about it. The thing should not happen. Such a thing should not.
I beg, I no fit. You remember they talk about let's pray for Nigeria, let's do this for Nigeria. I don't understand. All the prayers when Nigeria don't they do since 1960, how come we never see any change? All the prayers when the so-called ancestors in Nigeria have been praying that are still around. The ancestors know they're on our life, but not children, young people, now they're on our life. Why? That's the question one should be asking. All the prayers when don't lead Nigeria to where it is, so I beg, we could not keep on a prayer. Mona go they pray that one for inside. Mona go they pray and for inside. Prayer when they don't take scatter the whole place. We don't know the direction we are going anymore in Nigeria. We don't know the direction, whether we are going forward, whether we are going, we don't know. It's crazy. Everything is upside down. It's topsy-turvy, upsy-dopsy, or whatever it is. Prayer when they don't take scatter everywhere for Nigeria. Yeah. Prayer when they go to shout. I'm beginning to wonder, those prayers that they will be shouting and everything, is there another meaning to it? Because look at the state of Nigeria. By the way, how many of you have read the report that David just came out with? Naming Osibanjo. Yeah. Oh my God, don't be my mouth and I go, yes, say Babangida day on top of something. Damning report. I say, every time I say we have no heroes in Nigeria, some people think I'm just, why do you have to say that? Of course, there are people, yes, there are people who meant well for Nigeria, but they don't give them the time of day. They always push them down. You should ask yourself that question. Why do they push these people down? Why is it that they don't allow them, they don't give them the voice that is required? Why? That's the question people should be asking. Why don't you allow them to come out and fight for the people? They always find a way to suppress. That's all they care about. We've never had any heroes. I don't know if I'm not deluded. I'm not under any type of delulu. Okay? I have come to terms with the fact that Nigerians, we don't have heroes. We don't. We've never had. All those heroes that they claimed that we had, they were all lies. It's all audio hero. It's the story they wanted to paint. They want to paint and give to us. That's what they've given to us. Did we have sectional heroes? Yeah, there are people who honored their sectional leaders, who worked for them, who did things for them. I think the only person that I'm aware of, right, and I'm still learning, right, that really wanted to fight for the unity of Nigeria and all of that is Nnamdi. No, it's not Nnamdi Azikiwe. Is it Nnamdi Azikiwe? Yeah, I think it's Nnamdi Azikiwe. He's the only one. You can correct me if I'm wrong. He was the only one that was nationalist and sort of kind of meant well. Every other person, I don't know. Okay? Every other person was sectional. They were fighting for their side. You understand? So for those sectional leaders, there are people, their own sectional people will honor them. Nigeria has not one will say, okay, you know what? We need to fix this. The only person that could have achieved that successfully would have been Obasanjo. Unfortunately, Baba did not do that. With due respect to him, I cannot say, hey, what have I been able to do anything on a national level like Obasanjo has? No, I can't. I haven't. So I cannot put him down, but I feel like he had the rare capacity to be able to do that, to put things in order, but he didn't, right? The fact that he removed the shell, all the chevron and everything from the places, from the Niger Delta where the oil is coming from, moved it to Lagos, was a selfish move. Very selfish, because the Lagos that everybody keeps screaming about is the Niger Delta money that they used to build it, majorly. Okay, that's conversation for another day. They moved all those headquarters to Lagos. Every other district is waiting arm and leg. The kind of chaos that's happened in Lagos, that was happening in Niger Delta, that they could have sorted out, right, and make the companies remain there. They didn't do that. Selfishness. Baba would have been able to at least help us have some semblance of unity and insist upon it, and he would have been able to achieve it. But here we are in 2024, where your mates in other climes are saying, no, let's not plant hibiscus in the government house. Let's plant, what's it called? Chrysanthemums. Let's plant, what's it called? Tulips. Okay? We are busy here talking about heavy stuff in Nigeria. It's always heavy for us. There's a lot of heavy lifting that needs to take place in Nigeria. And everybody has a role to play inside. You cannot fold your hand and sit down and say, you no concern me, I'm not bothered. It has a way of affecting you. Even if now only to just hiss for the matter, you are contributing. If you want to hiss. Because we have a long way to go. The fact say they discuss this matter for 2024, it blow my mind. Where people, if you know where China dey now, China not dey our level. China, they move like they say, if you want to, I want to, let me go to space and live, go to China. China and Japan, they don't leave una behind. They don't dust. No, not go even see their dust peak. Una not go see their dust peak for ground. India, uncle. India is doing India first. That's what they are doing. They are moving at their pace. They don't send anybody, papa. They have their own media network that represents them, that's telling the truth about its people on a national level. And they're calling out other Western powers without fear or favor. But Nigeria, we still they learn. We still they do bigotry Olympics. You are from A, you are not from B. You are from B, you're not from C. You are from C, you're not from D. Look at what's happening in Lagos. We're changing the street names and changing the names of the market. Will it make it progress more? You forget that the people that created those places came from all over Nigeria. All over. Everything has been selfishness and greed. Now sit down, look, we go to look now. We'll see how that thrives and how long they can keep up with that. You are changing. Meanwhile, your colonialist names are still in their buildings 100 years. Or how many years ago since they left, they still do your buildings. You never change them. Now your brother and sister, they share the same country. Now you dey remember say you want change. I don't know who do us for Nigeria, to be honest. I can't say. I don't know who did do us, but the person when do us, he do us strong thing. Very strong thing. Now they do us for Nigeria. The hatred is it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. I was very naive. Oh, I don't know. I was very, very, very naive. Completely. I had no clue. I keep saying, thank God for Peter Obi. If it wasn't for him, half the things I know now, I would never have known. I probably wouldn't have even considered it. I would not have considered it at all. But Peter Obi came and ripped everything apart. We can't start with the see things. We dey shout. We still dey shout it today. Expose galore. We are still shouting about discoveries. We are still shouting. We are still shouting. We'll hear some things. We'll say, these kind of things are happening in Nigeria. That's what is still happening. Since that man stepped in to say, you know what, let me play my role here. Maybe his whole role is exactly what we're experiencing right now. Maybe that's what he came to do for us. Maybe the person that needs to clean up Nigeria will be the next person to come. I don't know. I'm still observing. Personally, I don't think there'll be an election in Nigeria, but what do I know, right? So this is just my own opinion. And even if that happens, I'm going to look and see who are the candidates. Because Nigeria needs deliverance, immediate deliverance. By the way, please, the Simon Ekpa faction of Biafra, they have declared their Biafra in Finland. Biko, are we going to need visa to come and visit them in Finland? Is what I'm saying. Or is their land going to be in Nigeria? I want to understand though, because I heard that they have declared now that they have their own Biafra. And I constantly say their list. The list where I come from inside, I say, wow, I don't know, say we be part of, it's news to me, I don't know. God, I beg. Nigeria, only Nigeria. The government know even whether something they happen, they don't even know. Meanwhile, Yahaya Bello pleads. He plead not guilty to the fraud when they levy on him. He pleaded not guilty. What are you going to do about that? Last, the money when he collect, they'll tell and say, just bring like 50 million. We'll forget the case. The thing will just, naturally will just disappear. That's what we see happening in Nigeria. Can anybody do anything about it? No, nobody can. No matter if you like shout from now, they jump up and down. It's not going to change anything. They've done what they want to do. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. Everybody just they do it in their like banks. They take people money. Once somebody loses a relative in Nigeria and has a lot of money in the banks will automatically clean out the person's account. They would just throw the relatives under the bus and be lying. Everybody's just at each other's throats. Banks now have become the new set of problems that we have in Nigeria. Everybody's crying left, right, and center about what the banks are doing to them in Nigeria. Complaints up and down the place. Now, like this, we're going to go for Nigeria. Now, sit down, look me, I'm going to look, we're going to observe from a distance. We'll keep observing. There's nothing else to do but to observe. Let's move along. There's more videos to be played. Shoo. Meanwhile, the Port Harcourt refinery, when they talk, say they won't go open for Port Harcourt. Abiwie. Hey! Nigeria. Lord have mercy.
To us. to every one of us that had found time to be here this evening. As you could observe, we've been having our organs meeting, and we just climaxed that organs meeting with the meeting of the NEC of Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. And in all these, we are thrilled on issues that are affecting Nigerian workers vis-a-vis the downtrodden Nigerians. We examined the issues that are bordering on minimum wage. And as you could recall, the Minimum Wage Act was signed into law sometime in July. And since this was signed, a lot of states, they've started making pronouncements, announcing different figures as their minimum wage. As the NEC of TUC rightly observed, that it is not just sufficient for you to keep announcing minimum wage of 70,000, 80,000, 90,000 as the case may be, but it boils down to issues that is bordering on consequential adjustment. Now, most of these states, as we speak, they have not effectively carried out a proper consequential adjustment. So we are calling on such states to sit down with the organized labor to draw up the table as regard consequential adjustment, so that workers across each of these states will start benefiting from the new national minimum wage. There are some states that there is no conversation whatsoever. As you could recall, that as we speak today, Cross River, there is a 2 days warning strike that is currently going on in Cross River State because the government of Cross River State is not responsive to the plight of workers regarding the issues of minimum wage. So we hereby call on the governor of Cross River State to take the issues of workers much more seriously, to take the welfare of workers, and put it in front burner. Then a state like Zamfara, as we speak, have not even considered a committee to discuss on the issues that are bordering on minimum wage. So there is no conversation going on currently in Zamfara State on how the new minimum wage will be implemented and how the consequential adjustment should be done. So we are hereby calling on the governor of Zamfara to emulate what is happening in the state that is very close to him, that also have similar revenue. A state like Kebbi today is also taking a lead regarding issues that is bordering on the welfare of workers. So we call on these states to quickly, as a matter of urgency, to implement the new minimum wage with its consequential adjustment. Comrade, recently you heard that government, they've rolled out issues that is bordering, that they call tax reform. 4 bills are currently sitting before the National Assembly on the Nigeria tax reform. From the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, we are saying that as of today, the downtrodden Nigerians, they are passing through excruciating hunger and they are passing through pain as we speak today. Yes, government has said that for those that are around minimum wage, that there is going to be tax relief. But we hereby call that net should be expanded much more. That net should be expanded to give more Nigerians tax relief, so that they could be able to use their earnings to cater for their families. Because as you rightly know, the cost of goods in the market is outside the roof. School fees has gone above board. Electricity, same thing. PMS, same thing. So we want government to expand the net of those people that they want to give tax relief. It is very, very necessary and it is very, very urgent. Then for those as well that they are increasing their taxes, we want them to have a rethink, because this is not the time where you have to increase the tax burden of the citizens, because if you keep increasing the tax burden of the citizens, it is one of those things that leads to tax evasion. But government must design policies whereby the agricultural sector, the manufacturing sector, the real estate sector, the construction sector will begin to contribute much more to the GDP. Government should encourage these banks to lend much more to the real sector of the economy, because it is that sector that hired a lot of Nigerians, that could hire a lot of workers, because we want Nigerians to be engaged. So we hereby call on government through CBN to come up with robust policies that will encourage the banking sector to lend much more to the real sector of the economy, so that more jobs could be created. Then on the issues about unemployment, if you remember at the time, our unemployment rate in Nigeria was well above 35%. Before the MBS came with a new formula that they now said that if you work 1 hour a week, it is job. So you have a job. So how can a man that is working 1 hour a week be categorized to have a job? What can a man that have 1 hour a week will be able to put on the table for its family? So MBS should reflect on their characterization. It is not just good for you to say that the number of Nigerians that are unemployed is about 4%, when we know that that is not the best standard that is being used the world over. The comrade, from Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, we've addressed press conference a number of times on issues bordering on exchange rate. We will not be tired. We will keep pushing and telling government that that is one singular thing that has affected literally everything today in Nigeria. Government must look at its policies and how that exchange rate could be better managed. Nigeria has been an import-dependent nation. We importing literally everything did not just start today. We have been importing literally all items, in the past 2-3 decades. But our exchange rate was relatively stable. So government must look at their policies again on how the exchange rate could be better managed. The comrade, if you could remember that some time ago, the issue of wage award, when government came and they announced that the wage award is going to be paid until the new minimum wage was implemented. And if you remember that the last time the wage award was paid was February. So there are still arrears. So we are still calling on government to pay the arrears of the new minimum wage until the date they started paying they should pay the arrears of the wage award until the date they started implementing the new minimum wage. Solidarity. Then, comrades, you could, and gentlemen of the press, today, the country is having discussions around CNG, but the infrastructure for CNG has not been deepened. The infrastructure for CNG at best is in most state capitals. So beyond those state capitals, we are encouraging government to deepen the infrastructure of CNG. We are encouraging government to also make the kits available free of charge to buses that convey students, to buses that convey workers, to the transportation unions and the transportation sectors, so that they would be able to convert their buses and start using CNG that would reduce the cost of transportation that has since skyrocketed. Then we would also want to comment on the issues bordering on refineries. We've heard in the news that the old Port Harcourt refinery has started processing crude, but we would still want to validate that further. We have reached out to our in-house union in Port Harcourt refinery to validate that. But beyond the old Port Harcourt refinery, we want government to also revisit or to expedite work in other refineries. Warri Refinery, Kaduna Refinery, and the new Port Harcourt Refinery. These four combined is holding close to 400 100,000 barrels of crude production per day. So we call on government to expedite actions in all these refineries because it will eliminate monopoly. It will bring a system of competition into the downstream sector of the oil and gas industry.
Nigerian-born Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has received a unanimous vote of 4 members of the World Trade Organization to remain for a second term in office. But Dr. Okonjo-Iweala received no opposition to her second tenure candidacy. Earlier today, the General Council of the World Trade Organization had a press briefing to announce Dr. Iweala's re-election and to provide some details on what trade organization interventions and support. Let's take a listen to this.
State until we get specifics in terms of what is planned. I think it will be a bit premature to try to pronounce on these issues. We look forward to working with the administration. We are grateful to the administration we worked with now. That we are looking forward to working with the new administration. I think we should come into things with a very constructive and creative approach to trying to deal with the issues that we face the world trading system. Of course, we would like to make sure that we don't have a situation in which we have any kind of trade disputes that are detrimental to the functioning of the world trade system. So that I think we can say. But beyond that, I think we should wait and for actual policies. So far, we have not seen that. And we're very much looking forward to working in a productive fashion. Let me just say that the appointment of Mr. Greer, we look forward to working with him. We would like to make sure we take a constructive and creative approach to trying to solve whatever issues. In responding to what you said, I'm an ally of everyone. WTO has 166 members, and I hope they all believe I'm their allies. So that's what I can say to you. And that I will work with each and every member. I think you heard what members said. I think there were 75 interventions today across a very broad spectrum, from developing to developed countries. And each and every one of them said that they've been working with me and they look forward to doing that. So I look forward to being there as an ally to every member. We need to get members to work with each other and to talk to each other. And I think we've been achieving that at the WTO. So we hope to continue to do that. And I look very much forward to working with Mr. Greer. Yesterday in my statement, I made some suggestions, which is that I think that we should, in Geneva, try to deal with the legacy issues. When I say that, I mean, let us try to conclude on those negotiations that have been pending for some time, and leave only 1 or 2 files for the ministerial, so that ministers can really focus their attention. The dispute settlement system, if we've not completed, should be something that at MC14 we should take. I'm not saying we should wait till we get there. I want us to do all the work beforehand so that ministers can bless an outcome there. Agriculture definitely need to make a breakthrough there, because we're talking food security, we're talking livelihoods in many developing countries. Those are certainly 2 I would like to see. Before that, we have a lot of work to clear up fisheries and investment facilitation for development. We have development issues LDC graduation. We've got special and differential treatment discussions that are going on how to enhance that in some of our agreements. So I could go on and on, but I will also give you my remarks so you can really see what the forward-looking agenda. And then at MC 14, I would like to see us spend a bit more time on some of these new opportunities, these forward-looking issues. Can ministers have conversations about how we deal with the new industrial policies, the issue of level playing field? How do we solve that? That is a problem that confronts us. Do we look at some of our existing agreements like the subsidies and countervailing measures? Are they still fit for purpose? Can ministers discuss that and see the way forward? Do we look at environmental and issues on climate change? So there's a whole policy space for industrialization. There's an exciting agenda that we also want them to engage in at MC40. So I think my appointment has been vetted. That's what I have to say. There's a government in place. They participated in the process. So I feel a little odd. So I feel I've been vetted. I think that I look very much forward to working with President Trump, with all the new people who will be appointed. I'm eager for it because I think that the U.S. What I want to say is threefold. One, the WTO and its rules underpin 75 to 80% of global goods trade. And I don't think anyone has challenged that. I think there's a general recognition that the organization needs to be supported and to keep going, because this is a hefty amount of world trade that is in question. So I'm sure that we would all agree on that. I think the second point is that the WTO is much more than even that. On the trade front, we've got two agreements that underpin product safety and human safety. The technical barriers to trade agreement and the sanitary and phytosanitary agreement. I know this sounds very techy and not talked about, but the point is, here is a place where people, businesses can trade with confidence because they know that there's the agreements governing the standards of the products that go all over the world, and it rests here, and the safety. So I think we would see eye to eye on that, because I don't think there's any leader who would not want to have this safeguard. And it's a very important part of the WTO that is not often spoken about, but is vital. I know the United States values it. I think that one of the important things about the WTO is it's one of the few multilateral organizations where each member has an equal voice. Each member. So whether it's the voice of the United States or the voice of Mali or the voice of Samoa, they're all equal. And we're quite proud of that. Is it easy to work or run an organization where everyone has an equal voice? The answer is no, but we hope that members will use their equal voices to be able to dialogue with each other. Of course, we see emerging trade disputes that are coming in, and members asking for consultations on these various disputes, but that's what's good at the WTO. We offer a forum and a venue where members can actually bring their differences and their disputes and be able to deal with them in a more cooperative manner. And we're seeing them using this system. So this is what we would encourage members, whatever the case may be, to come to dialogue about it, to not react immediately, but to use the tools and the fora provided by the WTO to talk to each other first and try to solve the problems rather than come up with another policy immediately. So yes, there may be increasing disputes, but yes, we have the forum to handle them. And I think the US is using this as well as any other member. So that's the way that I think, I hope things will continue in that direction. With respect to costs, I think that our last budget, the membership we are very grateful because they were able to offer us the first increase in the budget in 12 years, and we have said we will work within that available budget. So operationally, there may be stresses, but I think we'll be okay. We'll be able to manage and juggle. With respect to private sector financing, we don't really have that. This is not something that at the WTO Secretariat it's not one of our sources. So just to make clear that that's the case. And on AI governance, the new unit we have created is quite exciting. We're excited about it. We hope it will be up and running. I think we're about to conclude the recruitment of the head of the unit in the next couple of weeks. And you saw our report, Trading with Intelligence. We believe that AI will have a very important role to play with trade in 3 ways: reducing trade costs, increasing the productivity of tradables, and actually maybe changing the nature and creating new tradable goods and services as we go forward, just to cite 3 examples. So we are quite excited. And that's why we have this unit to help us move with the process as we go forward.
Oh my God. Guys, I've been talking, no. I don't know, say I did mute. God, I beg. Oh my God, this is crazy. I don't know, I've been mute. I've been mute this whole time after the video. My goodness, I don't even know how long it was that I was mute. Oh boy, I'm so sorry, guys. And nobody said anything. I've just been talking, but I've been mute. So everything I said now, I have to try to remember to repeat them. So I was congratulating Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and I said that I'm so proud of her. That's a woman crush right there. Look at her blazing the trail, representing. Look at her with her cute Akara gele and her outfit. She's known for that. You see her representing, you know, walking, talking. Look at how she's talking. Look at how she was addressing her people. Please tell me that you did not feel some sense of pride in you just listening to her talk. Look at how you can tell she cares for her people. She wants to do the job. She has the capacity. She knows what she's doing. Look at how she's carrying everybody along. Those are the kind of people who should be voting as presidents. Those are the types of people that we need as presidents, not the T-Pain that we have. You see what T-Pain has done? He has brought more pain. He has increased the pain to an astronomical level. People cannot even breathe again. They've seized their breath with pain. Okonjo-Iweala talking, addressing her people. Hey God, I beg you. Honestly, proudly representing her country. Nigerians, will you not like to have that kind of person as president? And this is not the type of people you should be putting your attention on and focusing on and encouraging. That they forbid if they say, man, look at Nigeria's president there. Stand apart, set apart. Instead, see who we carry. Ancient of days, T-Pain. Since you enter, tears. 9 people know. Tears, cry, complain, nothing. That's how you know when somebody is not meant to be in a place. And it's almost like he just came to punish Nigerians. That's what he came to do. Maybe Nigerians deserve it because Nigerians too bad plenty for their hand. Maybe that's what T-Pain represents, to punisher. Maybe that's what he is, the punisher of the Nigerians. Maybe that's what he is, because I don't understand this level of pain. Christmas, now people are complaining they cannot afford anything for Christmas. Most people have told their children is Gary PLC. That's what we're going to do for Christmas. You like it, you don't like it. If you have a friend that invites you to come and chop jollof fries, take extra bowl and bring back. There's no Christmas. Do you understand? Look at the mess that is happening. Compare that to what Okonjo-Iweala is doing outside, representing. Brilliant woman. Congratulations to her. Kudos to her. You know, I wish her the very best. I don't know how long their tenure is. I don't know how long it is, but I do wish her well. For them to even, vote her back in, that means they have a lot of confidence in her. That says a lot, man. That really, really says a lot. Omo, that's a woman crush right there. If you are looking for mentor as a woman, as a lady, those are the kind of people you should be looking at. Everything is not all about securing the bag. Look at people like that are carrying themselves well and representing. With their name alone, doors will open. Those are the kind of people you should be looking up to. But what do I know? I'm not here to advise you. Whatever you want to do with your life, I beg. This is not my content. I just make I throw them in as Oversabi when I want to this evening. So, I mean, I don't know. Nigeria, I believe that when only God knows when Nigerians will wake up. Only God knows when the dam will break. Only God knows. Because me, I don't know. If you ask me now, I don't know. Nigerians, they are on now to catch cruise, talk about Davido. They don't praise Davido neck now for the past how many days. Unto say the guy. They go say, oh, this Hollywood actors, they don't talk. They don't talk about our concerns. One can carry your issue, enter global stage, say no, Mona not come, country not good now. Una day on top of your head. Meanwhile, T-Pain don't talk, say, he don't go this thing, go tell them, say, if you give the children boiled egg and sandwich, you would have fed an African child. I be una talk so now one here. Is that not painting Nigeria black? Is that not making Nigeria look bad? Nigeria get problem with food. Not be insecurity be the problem when not make people they feel enter farm again. The insecurity they don't feel solve them. No. Meanwhile, the northerners they boil, they wait for Tinubu. They are threatening everything on this earth for Tinubu for passing that tax bill. They are not happy. Okay? Just want you guys to know things are about to turn around. Because when the North gets ready, it's over. Don't say South people, all of na to go party morning till night. Most of the places in the North, not only Lagos, they function and is on purpose. Because ask me why Baba carry Shell, carry Chevron, all the better, all the oil companies when be day Naija Delta, carry and go Lagos. Use the oil money, take off Lagos. Everybody they migrate, enter Lagos. They pay tax inside Lagos. They go one person go collect the money, put her inside pocket. That is exactly what is going on. There's nowhere that there are no brilliant people in Nigeria. None. Imagine if every corner of Nigeria was working, the west, the south, the north, the east. Trust me, Lagos will be empty. Lagos will just be admin. It will just be admin only. People will just go there, just go. People won't even go. Mail. There's technology now. You do Zoom call. If you need to talk to a person, you don't need to enter aeroplane. Zoom call. You if the Zoom call not there, you do phone call. There's so many ways now to interact. There's so many ways to interact. Imagine if I'm just imagining. The kind of abundance that we will have in Nigeria is mind-boggling. I saw a video of a young man, I think he's from the north. This guy, he has never seen a freeway before. This guy drew it from his head. The painting was so real. It looked so real. We have so much talent. Let me tell you, the head of Ford, I think one of the head of Ford in America is from the north. He's Hausa man. Maybe not Hausa, maybe one of those tribes, but he's from the north. He's from the north. Do you know how many people, how many Nigerians are blazing the trail all over the world? Hardworking. Imagine if we had all that potential in Nigeria to build our own society. You and I will not be here. We will not be here. Only God knows when Nigerians go open their eye, decide, okay, today and today, we must fight and collect and get our own today. Only God knows. You go do election, which election just happened just now? Although nobody even noticed. Whether election take place, nobody noticed. And the way they rigged the election was easy. It was just walk over for them because they've had enough practice. Nobody's saying anything. They rigged that Ondo election. They snatch ballots. Even people buy, they injure people on top of election. How long are we going to continue like this? That's you call me now, say, oh yeah, 2027 there'll be election. How? If you don't fix the electoral laws, INEC is still there. INEC, that INEC chairman is still there. And your president has the liberty to choose who, and INEC forgets it is over. It's over. Don't even bother talking about election if you have not fixed the obvious problem. Don't bother. Well, me don't go talk my own. Election no go happen for Nigeria 2027. Now, my opinion, right? People when they ready, they strategize for election. Kudos. If I say okay, yeah, it looks like this one, this time Nigerians are ready. Maybe I will put my energy, but until then, no more forget. Forget when you have the likes of Wike's brother as a INEC commissioner. Your brother is FCT chairman. You are INEC wreck. Is that not madness? And everybody just fold hand. People made noise for like 1 day, 2 days, and that's it. Or the other lady that they said is an active APC card carrying member. What did people do? They're supposed to shut those type of people. You shut them down. You don't give them the light of it. You don't allow them. But hey, we live in a country where the bad is good, good is bad. Should be election. We saw the election that took place in Edo State, how badly it was rigged. It was so rigged, it was obvious. Like, what are you going to do about it? If you complain, go to court. That's why I didn't even pay attention to the Edo election. I didn't even, when they said, oh, he's going to court, I was like, whatever. He can go to court. That doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. Nigeria being what it is, he's not going to get that mandate. Forget. In my own mind, I don't really talk. I say, you know, we'll get that mandate. Forget that. But hey, I'm glad to see that somebody is actually standing up and saying, no, we have to do something. And because of that, I'm expecting a lot more Nigerians, especially politicians in Nigeria, to step forward and be doing exactly what this guy did today. If wishes were horses, so, right? I'd expect more of them to come forward and say, yeah, it's true. We're not going to allow this happen. This cannot fly. You know what? We're going to make sure we get it right this time. If there's real movement and people are actually doing what needs to be done to ensure electoral integrity, to remove all those wrecks, throw away them with left hand. Do you realize one thing? Did you notice one thing? Almost of the wrecks or the leaders of the INEC officials that they were sending out, all of them professors. Did you guys notice that? Professors, all of them. Professor this, professor that. Common, ordinary votes counting, they're not fit do. But they are professors. Is that not a waste of going to school? What's the point? Even market woman not fit do rich like this. You that you know better, you allowed yourself to be used because of what? Because of a down payment for ordinary corn. You sell your future, the future of your children, the future of your children's children, your entire generation and lineage. Money when we say, one use and buy 2 things with this inflation now, it can only go so far. It's over. Now, the funny thing is that will people learn from all of this? No, they won't learn. No. When if election it happens today, people will still collect 5K and sell out their souls. That's the painful part. There are people who collect less now because they even made it worse. There will be people who collect 1K, 500, 5,000 naira just so that they can eat for the day. Meanwhile, they have succeeded in selling off their generations. Well, I don't know. It's just unfortunate. It's an unfortunate thing in Nigeria, but it is what it is. When when people hear, me talk like this, sometimes they say, Nigeria is not that bad. Like my friend that I told you guys about. Oh, it's not that bad. You guys make it seem like it's all bad. Oh, tell me what's good in Nigeria, please. Name one good thing. I'm desperate to say good things about Nigeria. You think I enjoy coming here and pointing out all the issues? I don't enjoy it. It's not pleasant. I'm from Nigeria. I cannot deny it. But can you point to me, tell me, oh, this is what's happening today. This is what's happening today. Not one good thing. The only good thing somewhere that people are all talking about and saying, it's good is the tax bill. But my question is, before you tax people, won't you put things in place? Do you understand? You put things in place. People don't have jobs. Okay? I know that they have stratas, like you can't tax if you make certain amount of money, you can't be taxed and stuff like that. I get that. But still, many people that don't have jobs and they're plenty pass. Is it not good for you to maximize? Because taxing is a way to make money and generate income for the society. I get that. But guess what, though? If you don't have the manufacturing companies, you don't have electricity 24/7. Not everybody can afford. You are doing classism for electricity, for power. You have to be band A, band B, band C. If you are band A, you get 24 hours electricity. Make it make sense. Is that not classism? Is that not some level of tribalism and racism? Everybody deserves to have light. Which one is band A, band B, band C? It makes absolutely no sense. It doesn't make any sense. So if you don't have power, there's no constant electricity, of course. That's a direct result of that. You don't have water, clean water. The roads are not good. You are not safe. You don't feel safe. How do you build businesses? How do you encourage people to build businesses, become entrepreneurs so that they can employ other people, so that they can get paid, so that they can get taxed? How? Nothing is put in place. They just pass bills with nothing in place. I believe that maybe this is the one that will break the dam for Nigerians. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm hoping that this is the one that will really, really break it for them. And I'm here for it because it's about time. How long are we going to keep going back and forth like this in Nigeria? How long? Every day, one thing or the other. Did you guys hear about the fire that erupted where? I think there was fire in some market, Ladipo market or Alaba market, or which one of the markets, I don't even know. I think I saw that video just now. That's why I even mentioned it. Let me see. It's a shame, honestly. It's a real shame. I think I saw it. Where is this? Some market, it's in burned to the ground. I'm like, God, waiting be this. That's a huge loss. That's people's businesses, livelihood gone just like that. What is the government doing about it? That is the question. What is the government doing about it? Let me play this video while I pull up that other video. We need to listen to this video. This Yahaya.
Again, it's Breakfast Extra. Our very first big report this morning, the long-awaited courtroom debut of Yahaya Bello, the embattled former governor of Kogi State. Well, that unfolded this week with all the drama, and Nigerians have come to expect that anyway. After months of dodging the EFCC's grasp, Bello was finally arraigned, facing charges of misappropriating a jaw-dropping 80 billion naira. It was a spectacle of legal and political intrigue. The EFCC struggling to prosecute him amidst procedural bottlenecks, including their contentious attempts to proceed without proper legal representation, move, which was swiftly rejected by the court. Now, Bello, a card-carrying member of the ruling APC, is now in custody for the next 2 weeks, giving the nation a rare glimpse into the ruling party's willingness to hold one of its very own to account. But with the EFCC's track record and the labyrinth of legal hurdles already emerging, Nigerians are left wondering, is this the start of a landmark case for justice or just another episode of political theatrics?
Well, joining us to break this down, we actually have Emmanuel Bagudu, our esteemed News Central correspondent, who's been following this case closely from the courts. And we also have Uthman Isa Tochukwu, Esquire, a seasoned legal practitioner who will guide us through the complexities of the legal processes ahead. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for joining us, Uthman.
Thank you for having me.
Uthman, if you first of all just paint a legal picture of exactly where Yahaya Bello finds himself, and if you can explain this loyalist case that we heard of from the courts.
Well, just before Uthman actually, responds to that, we'll take a look at the package by Emmanuel Bagudu and see how it goes. Stay with us.
Embattled ex-governor Yahaya Bello appeared in court alongside his alleged accomplices for the first time after resisting arrest by the anti-graft agency. Bello pleaded not guilty to the 16-count charge leveled against him by the EFCC, bordering on conspiracy, illegal possession of several properties, and criminal breach of trust amounting to 110 billion naira. After taking their pleas, Joseph Daudu, counsel to Bello, moved the bail application for the former governor, but counsel to the EFCC opposed the application, arguing that the application had been invalid since October. Making further clarifications, the counsel to the defendant says that the only relevant application before the court was the motion for the bail in respect to the first defendant, which is the ex-governor, which was filed on November the 22nd. The court then fixed December the 10th to rule on the bail application. Attempts to get the reaction of the counsel failed as they refused making comments. The complexity involved in the ex-governor Yahaya Bello case is the fact that the ex-governor has evaded arrest several times. He has refused to turn up in court despite invitation from court. And now the AFCC has found an opportunity of arraigning him. And of course, the time given between now and will give the EFCC ample opportunity, ample time to be able to file their processes very well, to be able to be sure that they are going to have the governor from the beginning to the end of the case. Here in Abuja, for News Central, I am Emmanuel Bagudu.
All right, well, there you have it. Emmanuel Bagudu has actually, painted a picture of what is actually happening in the Yahaya Bello and EFCC case. Now, let's come back to you, Othman. I think Mazino did ask you a question just before the package. If you could go ahead and, respond to that now.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. In law, right, every offense is bailable with certain exceptions, right? Now, the exceptions to some of the offenses that are not bailable offenses are capital offenses. And like we know, in law, capital offenses are offenses that comes with death penalty, right? Now, when we want to x-ray the situation of the ex-governor of Kogi State, Malam Yahaya Bello, we would ask ourselves, what nature of offense had he been, accused of, or is he being tried of? He's been tried of financial crimes. And then in law, the question would have been, is it a bailable offense or not? The answer to this question is yes, it is a bailable offense. But being bailable offense is one thing, and another thing is whether the court can grant that bail, because bail on its own is discretionary and exclusively the right of court to so do. If my lord examined the circumstances surrounding, his allegations, and he's unsatisfactory to grant bail in that instance, he may refuse to grant him bail, even though ordinarily it is a bailable offense. But the issue at the moment is on the fact that the matter had been adjourned to 10th of December for the courts to take on the bail. The question that may arise on that day is whether or not he's entitled to bail. And if you look at the surrounding circumstances, you may want to agree that he's entitled to bail because the offense is a bailable offense. But then again, the court has the discretion to grant that bail or not to grant it.
All right, now, Othman, you did shed light on the legalities, of keeping Yahaya Bello in EFCC custody, for the time being. But what does this mean, for the timeline of his trial?
Well, there is nothing wrong in keeping him in EFCC custody for now, pending the determination of the trial, except that bail is granted on hopefully on December 10th, when the court sits on the matter. He will have to remain there in compliance with the order of court. he can always be coming from EFCC custody to court to face his trial and all of that. But I'm hopeful that perhaps my Lord may be lenient to grant him bail, considering the circumstances, also looking at the fact that he was an ex-governor. There are some certain conditions that comes with bail, especially when you look at the status of the accused person. In this instance case, he was an ex-governor. I do not think he had been before alleged of this kind of crimes before. These are factors that my Lord are going to look at and then consider whether or not he's entitled to bail. But as it is, in any case, he still have to remain within EFCC custody pending the determination of his trial.
Now, Uthman, it's a shame that we can't go into the details of the legal proceedings that are happening inside of court because, I mean, this would be sub judice. But let's talk about, as a legal expert, let's talk about how you've assessed the EFCC strategy here in this case so far. Are there possible lapses that could affect the prosecution at the end, or have they carried out their strategy properly?
The first signs of sciatic nerve decay may surprise you. Most people don't know this, but the real reason behind searing sciatic nerve pain has less to do.
Like you said, you had always, you had preempted me already. Otherwise, I would have wanted to say that going into the substance of the attitude of the trial, the prosecution, may not actually be too proper at this time, looking at the fact that the case is pending before the court, so that I will not be caught up with sub judice. However, I had expressed my displeasure over the manner through which EFCC is handling this case. Initially, the chairman of EFCC went on air to hold what we may call a press conference, calling out the suspect and all of that. There are certain things that we must have to know. The fact that someone has been accused of crime does not mean in law that he committed that crime. He's still an accused person, and he's still enjoying that right of innocence until proven guilty. So on the basis of that, it becomes improper for you, the prosecution, to go online or on the media to begin to call out suspect at that point. There are certain rights that the Constitution had given to the suspect to enjoy. So in that instance, I wasn't too comfortable with the manner through which EFCC went about it. You are the prosecutor, you should conduct your investigation and bring your facts to bear before the court. But I believe that now that the accused person has been arraigned, the proper procedure should be followed, and then we'll allow the court to take a decision on the matter, and we'll all see the outcome.
Okay, now talking about seeing the outcome, we do know that an APC member, and is it a fair question if his arraignment is a genuine pursuit of justice or a potential case for political sabotage?
No, I think this question is rhetorical. It's rhetorical in the sense that it has answered itself. Otherwise, the position that Mr. Yahaya Bello holds in that party, and they are the party in power. If the party was, or the administration per se, was going to look at the other side, they may not even arraign him in the first place. But just to show you that nobody is above the law and everybody is equal before the law, it is just proper that the right thing should be done, regardless of whose horse is God. I do not think that we are envisaging any form of favor from the ruling party. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been arraigned in the first place, and they know how to go about their things. I believe that he's going to face the law squarely, and if he is found guilty, why not? He would be convicted appropriately.
Okay, Uthman, let's talk about what happened in court again when he was brought back to court on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Now, he had told that he was only informed of that process the day before, and hence that resulted in a lawyer-less situation. So if you first of all explain what this lawyer-less situation is and how that's affecting the proceedings of everything that's happening and the implications of that as well.
If you're between 40 and 85, get the facts today that could help keep your family financially
I don't understand what they mean that he was just informed that day. Once you are being served a notice of hearing, right, that you are being summoned before the court, of course, you are going there knowing that you are going to be arraigned, to be asked a question on some certain form of, allegations against you. So if you are being put on that dock, and then you are being asked a question whether or not you are guilty, it is just proper that should be the first time you are hearing such question, and it's just for you to take your plea, whether guilty or not. If you say you are guilty, my Lord will go ahead and convict you based on the extant provisions of the law. But if you say you are not guilty, then we'll go into the nitty-gritty of the trial. And that is what had happened in court. Because the first thing to do is that when an accused person or a suspect is being arraigned in court, you take your plea. If you say that you are not guilty of that particular offense, then your lawyer will just have to apply for bail at that point. So if my Lord has the latitude to take the bail, my Lord listens and takes the bail on the merit. If he finds merit on the bail, he grants the bail. If not, he would give an order for the accused persons to be remanded in custody, which is what played out in court. So when they say it was lawyerless, I do not think so, because the court sat and then reminded. It is based on order of court now that the ex-governor is now being kept in EFCC custody. I do not think that there's anything lawyerless about it.
And then there's the case or the argument of the time that he spent evading the EFCC, which also resulted in the time that we've also waited for him to show up in court. Any penalties for this, perhaps? I'm wondering if this is also part of the process.
No, I think that they were just being political. In all fairness to the ex-governor, I mean, we have security agencies in this country. I do not think that there is any precedent of this country where any accused person would be within the bounds of Nigeria that the security agency cannot trace it. The burden is upon, who have accused a particular person that has committed a crime. The burden lies on you to go and pick the person wherever it is. In fact, the law has even extended it to the level where even if you go outside Nigeria, you can apply for extradition and it will bring you back to the country for trial. So I don't want to subscribe to that narrative that he was hiding, he was running away from where? We have the immigration service here, we have custom, we have EFCC, we have Nigerian police, we have the Interpol in the Nigerian police to track wherever the suspect may have gone to. I think that with all due respect to EFCC, they didn't do their due diligence, or they didn't want to pick him up as at window, because at the moment he left the office, Section 308 was no longer applicable. Section 308 talked about immunity of a sitting governor and the rest of them. So the moment he left office, Section 308 ceases to exist on his part. And we can apply every mechanism possible within the law to track an accused person. I do not subscribe to that.
All right. Now, when you said, the EFCC didn't do their job, I was actually tempted to ask, why it took so long for Yahaya Bello to actually present himself to them in the first place if he wasn't actually running. But then I'd actually love to ask again. I know the case is still in court, but I would want you to predict how you feel, this case will be resolved, and if you feel or foresee some likely hurdles for the EFCC in seeing this case through the conviction.
This would be going into the substance of the case.
I suspect.
How the amount to subdue this. I cannot preempt the court. I cannot preempt the court. But what I know is that 10th of December has been fixed for them to listen to the bail application, not to listen to the substance of the case. Now, what happens on that 10th of December will determine the next movement for that particular matter. If my Lord listens to the bail application and is convincing enough, my Lord at his discretion can grant the bail. Otherwise, he may have to be remanded pending the trial. I cannot comment on the outcome because that would amount to prejudice, and I wouldn't want the legal practitioner disciplinary committee to summon me.
We understand this. Thank you very much. At least him being reminded, we know where to find him this time. Let me welcome Emmanuel Bagudu. Emmanuel, you're welcome. Thank you very much for representing us in court. Well, not at the docks, but at least as News Central reporter. Do tell us, walk us through the key moments that perhaps didn't make your report in court on the day of his arraignment.
If you've been injured in a car accident, don't call an attorney. Use this AI app instead. That's what I did, and it's how I got this $100,000 check in less than 30 seconds. I know it sounds...
Yes, one of the very sensitive issues is the fact that you remember that Justice Kekere Okun, that's a new CJN, have actually warned lawyers to stop making comments while trial is ongoing. Of course, you will notice that reporting court cases have been so difficult these days because counsels are not talking on camera. So we were not able to, get to speak to either the EFCC prosecutors and then, of course, the defendants of the Yahaya Bello. It wasn't possible for us, probably because of the sensitivity of the case. Now, the issue of Yahaya Bello is the fact that the EFCC have been so desperate to make a case for themselves. They've been desperate to actually prove that they are actually that anti-graft agency that Nigerians are trusting. And it's quite a very huge achievement that they have been able to arraign ex-governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State. And that is so because if you look at the way the ex-governor has been behaving, he has been evading arrests. He has his security, that his successor security officials have over several times confronted the officials of the EFCC to actually protect him. That's talking about the current governor of Kogi State, Usman Ododo. So it is something the EFCC is proud of, and they will want to keep this trial, ongoing. They want to keep this trial they want to continue this trial without any issue. So the point there is that everybody is looking at what is going to come out of the case, because there's a lot of high expectations, and that the EFCC cannot compromise on this issue. And then there is something that's very important I need to state. On the day of the trial, when the Justice Mary Anini, that's Mary Ann Anini, actually ordered the remand of Bello, the EFCC officials were so happy about that, because as far as they are concerned, that's an achievement. At least they will have him in the next 10 days, in the next 11 days with them, and that they are going to carry out a lot of investigation, and that they are happy. They are very, very happy that this issue has been nipped in the bud, and that they are no longer being seen as a political organization. So in the next 10 days, all eyes are going to be on how this trial is going to continue. So it's a case of the EFCC trying to make itself relevant, it's trying to make itself clean, trying to show Nigerians that they are responsible, they are on top of their game. Yeah.
Well, but then, Emmanuel, how significant is the court's rejection of the EFCC's request to, prosecute without lawyers in attendance? Do you think that this signifies a tough road ahead for the anti-graft agency as well?
No, not at all. They are all these things are political gimmicks. They're all political gimmicks, and then of course, the EFCC is what the EFCC is trying to make us understand is the fact that whether, irrespective of the situation, they have successfully got Bello at their palm. That's just the message they're trying to pass across. And everything that will happen, anything that will happen in this case will determine after 10th of December. Will be determined after 10th of December. So it is too early for us to start, making assumption of how this case is going to be. But from 10th of December, we're going to see, how this case is going to look like. What the EFCC up to, or what is the fate of the people of Kogi State, whether justice will be achieved. Yeah.
Well, Emmanuel Bagudu, want to say thank you very much as well to Uthman, who joined us earlier. Thank you very much for actually, giving us a bit of time.
Well, just before Emmanuel
You've got
actually
an extra
leaves.
question?
Yes, I would love to ask, how you think the public and political community, have actually reacted to Yahaya Bello's appearance in court.
Attention retirees, if you're willing to be at your computer from 9 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. Monday.
Yes. In fact, we made mention of an incident that happened at the Maitama High Court, where when the EFCC officials had an accident just in front of the court after they had been given opportunity to take Yahaya Bello in their custody. Now we had instances of supporters. Yahaya Bello came in to court with his supporters, and then unfortunately for him, there are people who do not like him. So it's a kind of clash. So in the process of taking him back to custody, there was a clash. The EFCC officials were trying to escape from supporters who were kind of trying to distract them from doing their job, and then they had an accident. So it's a mixed feeling, it's a mixed reaction, and it's expected to continue like that up to the end of the trial.
I was hoping that Uthman could also respond to that, because it seemed that you had a response to that from earlier. Uthman, go ahead, please.
Yes, I was going to say that we all know that this is a very interesting case, and it's highly profiled case in that matter. So what I only urge GFCC to do their due diligence and resist to be intimidated by anybody, resist to be intimidated by whatever may come from the state, because we know the attitude of most of our politicians in this country. Each time they are accused of a certain crime and they are being taken to court, you see people being bought to go and show placards to campaign against it and all of that. The law must take its course. Let us allow the trial to run the way it should be run, and let us allow the judiciary to do their job. The judiciary also should not be intimidated. Look at the law, x-ray it, and take your position firmly. At the end of the day, even if the court of first instance gives their judgment and each parties differ, you can go to appeal. You can go to appeal and recontest for the judgment to be reviewed. So on that note, I would advise the FCC to keep their eyes on the ball and keep pursuing the course of justice on this matter. The fact that they have been arraigned does not mean that he would be eventually convicted. It could be on the other side. But either ways, the both parties can go to appeal and then continue to pursue the case.
All right, now my next question is for Emmanuel. We know this is also quite a sensitive case, so would actually, love to know if there were any ethical considerations or even challenges that reporters faced, while covering this case, or you faced.
Yes, one of the challenges is the fact that on assumption of office, the new CJN, Justice Kukere Ekun, has actually instructed lawyers, counsels, not to speak while a case is ongoing. So that has been a very, very difficult situation. And then, of course, when these cases are ongoing, journalists, sometimes find it very difficult to access the court because of the crowd. The supporters of Yahaya Bello were already in court as early as possible than even some of the journalists. So they blocked every entrance. So a lot of us had difficulties in accessing the court environment. So we're not left on. We don't have any choice than just to report the case the way it is seen in public. But what really happened in court, we didn't get most of the substance. So these are the challenges we're facing. The lawyers cannot talk, the counsels cannot talk. Of course, counsels are only allowed to talk after judgment or after ruling. So those are the challenges that we're facing, and that it makes it very difficult for us to be able to report the case as it is. And then people who are looking for justice, the people of the people of Kogi State, whom this case is being executed in their interest, are not given the details that they need. So those are the challenges that we face. Counsels no longer speak, and it's something that maybe the judicial community must address. Yeah.
Now, this question is for both gentlemen here, Uthman and also Emmanuel. While a governor is in position, I'm sure that the law protects him, but there's been plenty of questions or arguments regarding the influence that the current governor of Kogi State actually had in this case here, especially noting that one time when the EFCC tried to apprehend Yahaya Bello, and it was told that he was present to actually whisk him, in quotes, away. So let me first ask Uthman, regarding this, any implications for the current governor, maybe even after he has left office or not?
Like I said earlier, once you have been accused of a crime, especially financial crime, I believe that the prosecutor, EFCC in this case, would have gone to get what is it called? Arrest warrant. Now, if you have an arrest warrant, and this is something that Nigerians need to know. For instance, the very day they went to Wuse Zone 4 to arrest the ex-governor, and there was allegation that the present governor, Usman Ododo, was there and refused and insisted that they should not arrest him. And we could not cite the presence of the governor. This is what they told us. But what we could see, or what we saw on the camera that day, was the presence of the anti-graft agencies, and then, people were crowded in order, trying to arrest the ex-governor. But that failed on that day. The point I'm trying to make is that so long as you have an arrest warrant, it gives you the authority to even break into the house, wherever, if you are very sure that the suspect is present in that place, regardless of anybody's presence, because this time you are not looking for the governor, you are looking for the ex-governor. And like I said, Section 308 was no longer applicable. So when you have an arrest warrant to pick a suspect, that arrest warrant you have gives you the authority to even break into the premises and pick up the suspect. What happened after then? Yahaya Bello resisted arrest in that place. Then the next day, what happened? Up to over 2 to 3 weeks, what did you do? He cannot be always sleeping with the governor in the government lodge. Wherever he is in Nigeria, there is accessibility as far as our security architecture is concerned. So that's why I'm throwing those blames back to the prosecutor, that actually perhaps they were playing politics, they didn't want to pick him, and then all the chairman could do was to come online and begin to tell the whole world that this is what happened. I don't want to hear that explanation. A suspect has been accused of a crime. You have invited him and he refused your invitation. You go after him and pick him up. You have all the machineries, all the tools are there available for you to do your job. You can't blame the former governor, neither can we blame the current governor for preventing them from arresting him.
Well, Uthman, that's a very, I don't know if you agree with me, Dasha, that's a very well thought out response there.
Yes,
but I could also hear Emmanuel holding back his breath while you were talking. I'm wondering if Emmanuel has a submission here regarding this.
Shop Kohl's and get a jump start on your list with gifts that'll bring them joy. Gifts.
Yes, you cannot blame. Yes, you are right to say you cannot blame either the former governor or the present governor. But the governor has a responsibility of presenting himself or being accountable. He was voted into power twice. He has a responsibility of showing up. So we still have to blame the governor and even, of course, the current governor and the ex-governor. So these are people that go out that can vote us. We're going to want us to do. So I think generally to round up my submission, every leader has a responsibility of submitting themselves irrespective of the system.
You see, one of the most, sorry to cut in, one of the most difficult things to do is to allege that someone has committed a crime and then you willingly invite him to come. Ordinarily, as a gentleman, as a former governor, as a statesman in his own right, he ought to have honored that invitation willingly. And this thing would have, all the drama would have just been phased out. But because of the natural difficulty attached to such kind of invitation, even an ordinary man that you accuse of a crime will be scared of showing face. Perhaps he did not even do it. But the fact that that allegation had been there and everybody's eyes are on you that you committed the crime, you won't want to show up. And that is why the agencies, those security agencies are there to do their job in case of resistance. You can only arrest somebody who have resisted an invitation or who has resisted an arrest.
Thank you.
He was invited probably.
Uthman, thank you very much for the clarification, but we have run out of time. But now this is real this time. I want to say thank you very much, Emmanuel Bagudu, and also Uthman for joining us.
Yay! What? Have I been on mute all this time? Or have I been on? This is the second time I'm being on mute. I think I'm going to delete this video. This is crazy. Have I been on mute all this time? Welcome, Uwa. Hey, Modaro. Wow. Some of the good stuff I was saying, you did not. Oh my God. Acha-cha-cha. Wow. Welcome, my sister. I was just sharing that. Oh my, I'm gonna find a way to edit this video. Oh my God, I hate edits. But anyway, I have to do it. Now, what was I saying, right? I was saying that if Yahaya Bello, they say he has pleaded guilty in the course. Yeah, you missed everything. Oh, yeah, I came on. I didn't think I was going to come on. Usually I don't come on weekends. I kind of just not bother. Only if I have free time. But I had free time today. I figured, let me just come on. Yeah, you have to start from the beginning. And it was fun. But anyways, so Yahaya Bello has pleaded not guilty, right? For all the fraud when they say he commits. So I'm saying that knowing Nigeria, nothing will happen to Yahaya Bello. He's just going to get a tap on the wrist. They will tell and say, how much was the fraud? Like, was 80 billion? So they'll say, okay, just bring something. When he bring them, he go say, don't worry, we'll crush the thing, right? They will tell him like that. They'll say, he go say, don't worry about these people. Don't worry about don't worry about Nigerians, before you know what's happening, to be a forgotten thing. Now, Nigerians, they forget easily. Before another thing will happen, and it will be forgotten. I'm telling you, that's exactly what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen. Before you know what's happening, because so many things happen in a day in Nigeria, it's hard to keep up. So many things are happening in Nigeria in a day, it's very, very hard to keep up. You can barely keep up with what is going on in Nigeria. As one they finish, another one they happen. As one they finish, another one they happen. No breathing space. So tell me, by the time this Yahaya Bello, they don't do one now, give it another week, another thing go happen. Another one will major pass this one go happen. And then everybody will be talking about that and will totally forget Yahaya Bello. That's what happens in Nigeria. You can't keep up. It's almost intentional. They keep inundating people with everything that's going on. They'll say you just continue to do your just intensify the bigotry, or they'll just send somebody to the national news network and say something highly bigoted, pick on the tribe, pick on the Igbo tribe, say something very, very annoying and bigoted, so that they will keep talking about that. Bam, people will jump on that one. How can he say that? How dare he say that? People are making noise, and they make noise, they do it in there, they do for back. That's what's going to happen. Before you know what's happening, Yahaya Bello's issue, we will not be talking about it again. He go enter voicemail. We'll now move. We'll not talk about the bigoted thing for a long time. Once people that are angry will be angry, they will come on national network explaining why they shouldn't have said that. And all, I'm telling you, it's crazy. The things that are happening in Nigeria, we have, they say now over 200 million. I say we're more, but okay, for the sake of the argument now, 200 million. Every person, literally, every single person in Nigeria has to be involved because of the number of things that are happening at the same time. Everybody needs to be involved, to be putting their voice. You cannot sit idle, but everybody is an activist for Nigeria now. If you just say, oh no, concern me, something will happen when it will make and concern you. You don't understand? Like something will just happen. You go just find out, say, it concern me. That's what happens. If you keep saying, no, it's none of my business, hey, I don't live in Nigeria, it doesn't affect me, I live in a mansion, I live in a decent place, it's gated, everything's happening. It just takes one bad policy. It just takes maybe maybe you not see drink. You not see that in favorite drink that day. You will just scatter everything. You don't finish with that. It don't finish with that. People that became homeless in Abuja how many days ago? You not take only weekend to go and demolish everything. So now so it be. If you just decide, say they won't tax those places when they live for those high-end areas, it's okay, we'll tax you 5 billion a month. Lobaton. You that you were balling before enjoying, that single policy, your life is changed forever. You have become average. From billionaire, you don't turn to thousandaire. That's it. You know, concern me, turn by turn Nigeria Limited. You know, concern me, concern me. You know, concern me, concern me. Monkey go market, go come back. You know, concern me, concern me. That's so it be. If they say they tell Dangote that time, say all this wahala when they go through them as the government baby, sugar baby, you go say, well, lie, never, can't happen. That's so you go talk. You go say, no, I'm very close to these people. They know me, I know them. You go speak English. Right? See what it not at least all of us there now. We witnessed the struggle that Dangote had to go through. He even had to come out and complain and give interview. When T-Pain shake out to the court, say cut out to size, say na me be the oga for here. You need to kiss the ring if you want to continue this your business. Or hard for me, I shut it down. I'm telling you, patapata your people go talk say they go complain, they not go see the feed do. Pass complaint. That's the truth. Look at him. He was complaining. So that's why everybody needs to get involved. Who will say, pick on, they'll pick on religion. If not be tribe, they will say religion. Let's turn it up. That religious conversation. Muslim don't like Christian. Christian don't like Muslim. Bam. They go start to they use their head, say they do basketball. So they say, what do you mean? In the Bible? This one will say, no, in the Quran, your Lord and Savior is a prophet. He's not a savior. This one will say, no, my God is the real God. Your own is not the real one. You worship the stars and the moon. I worship the real God. How do you know you worship the real God? Because he said that you see them arguing, unnecessary argument, unnecessary, as if they are God themselves. Unnecessary argument. They won't fight the war for them. Meanwhile, the one they're supposed to fight, when they're in front of them, they don't go fight them. They'll say everybody should be Islam, it should be Islamicized. Exactly. Once they talk about that, everybody be up in house. Hell no, no way. We have to protest. No way. We cannot be a part of this. It doesn't belong to us. You see them arguing left, right, center, everywhere. That's the problem with Nigeria. So all this Yahaya Bello matter, give it a few days. It will be washed. It will go with the ocean. It will go with the waves. Too many things happening at the same time in Nigeria. If it's not one thing, it's another. If it's not one thing, it's another. There's no breathing space. There's no breathing space. You know? And I was talking to my friend, she was like, the way you make it, the way you guys make it sound sometimes, you make it sound like nothing good is happening in Nigeria. I said, tell me what good thing is happening. So I'm desperate to speak about good things happening in my country. Are you kidding me? I want to talk about all the wonderful things that are happening in my country. Tell me, what are those good things? What are they? So I can come and share with my people here. If you tell me the good things, before I forget, there's an Igbo brother from Anambra. He's saying they look for Anambra wife. If you guys know anybody, this person is disturbing me. But if you guys know anybody who's from Anambra and who's also looking, please let me know. Send me an email. My email is there it's flashing across my screen. Send me an email, let me know so I can make the connection. Okay, he's a subscriber, he's a wonderful person, a subscriber. So, I can't deny him. So that's what he's looking for. He's strictly looking for an Anambra woman. So if you're an Anambra woman and you're also looking, fine young man, hey, I will jama both of you, connect both of you. That's it. Mona, the only thing when I want, someone will invite me for the wedding. I can't chop jollof fries, dance to flavor music, and what's that woman's name? What's this woman's name? Oh, that I like. My favorite artist in Igbo land invites me so I can come and dance. That's it. Give me a shoebi for free. I won't buy you to be for free as per the introducer. That's all. So anyway, back to what we're talking about. So Nigeria matter. I don't know. Me, if to say Peter will be there now, one good thing for the happen after the other. People go to complain, oh, but we go to see the good thing. We'll come here, they talk and we go to analyze and we go to critique. They say, no, like this. Oh no, I just said like this. You go, no, not be like this, not be like that. Then when you show up for the world, show up, go meet the world leaders. We go see, I go to talk with conviction. You go to fight for us. We go to say, yeah, go daddy, tell them. We go there and back. But no, the criminals in our country denied us of that. So we have to suffer and wait. When the tide will turn, we don't know. So all we are doing here is just talking and bringing out the issues. Because when you bring out the issues, it's like poison. You're putting the poison out there so that it's not as potent as it should be. Even though it's terrible, but at least the one we can do, we are doing. No, man, they should pay you the full bride price because now you when they pay me I not be umuna now. Now umuna they collect I be. I don't know if Abemona correct me if una know. Not be umuna that they pay bride abi. Now the parents abi, now the elders that they pay bride price to. I not be umuna now. Okay, maybe I go join for their own for the sake of them. I go join umuna. I go tell them they introduce me to umuna meeting. So that I go fit make demand. I go say, no, the bride price never complete too. The bride price has not complete. You have to give me full. We'll go discuss pricing. That is funny. I know, right? It'll be fun. But anyway, truly and honest, if you guys know anyone, let me know. The guy is pretty insistent on, his focus. He wants an Anambra woman. And so an Anambra woman he go get. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So Nigeria matter. It be like, when I don't know, it's like emotional blackmail. One day you're like, I don't want to talk about Nigeria. I really don't want to talk. I don't want to be bothered. I don't care, whatever. But somehow it will come and tug at your heart. Like, where do you think you're going? I beg, come, let's talk about this issue. That's how Nigerian problem is to me. If I had superpowers, I would go to Nigeria and fix it so that we don't have to talk about it. But I'm just as human as anybody else. That's the painful part of it. If it were possible for me to, fix some of these things, I would gladly do it. So we don't have to be in this situation. It's sad to kind of watch Nigerians have this meltdown of what's going on. And we're so divided. It's painful. It's so painful to see. We're so divided. It's so painful. I'm telling you. We're so divided. It's not a joke. I've never experienced this type of division in Nigeria before. Even though there were issues then, a lot of this went over my head because I didn't understand what they were. It took a Peter Obi coming to contest for election to expose a lot of these things, to make me see that, wow, these things have been happening, but we just did not pay much attention to it. That's what we're witnessing now. And it's hitting us all at once, back to back, no breathing space. And because Nigerians are used to adjusting, no matter how difficult it is, they will adjust. No matter how difficult it is, they will adjust. Okay? They continue to adjust. Everybody keeps adjusting. That's the problem. And I also, I've observed that in Nigeria, everybody wants to feel superior to the other person. That's a huge problem. Everybody wants they feel like, oh yeah, we have the power here. Those particular people want to dominate. It doesn't work like that. You have to learn to work together. If you're in a state and you have multiple tribes or tongue within your state, you have to learn to work together, and you should always get into the habit of presenting your best from every tribe. Once an opportunity presents itself where you're like, okay, you're going to lead us this time, present your very best. Forget about whether they come from your father's house or not. It should always be about the best. I don't know when we're going to get there in Nigeria. I hope soon. Honestly, I desire to see it. But what happens is, you see in a state, a group of people will feel like they're important. They start feeling important. They will just start feeling like they are the owners. Meanwhile, there are like maybe 15 other tribes or maybe 20 other tribes in it. You cannot do, that is room for agitation right there. Freedom to agitate. You're not allowing, you feel like you're the one that is capable of doing it all. No. And meanwhile, maybe you've run the state or you run your community, you've been able to, you've had the opportunity to serve your community. You've been the worst, consistently producing the worst. You come, you don't do anything for your people. All you do is just line your pockets, line the pockets of your friends, your relatives, marry a couple more wives, have girlfriends sprinkle all over the world, share to other distant relatives, and you leave the state in perpetual debt and poverty. Every other place does not look, even the place where you stay, that is supposed to be the capital, does not look like the capital. It looks like a junk. It looks like a jungle. Look around Nigeria. It is repeated all over. Nobody is better than anybody. Everybody has a leader within them. If you have the opportunity to serve the people. How about you serve the people so well that they say, no, we want people from this group to serve because they understand what it means. If you're able to do that, and a group consistently is producing good leaders, people should rally around and say, okay, you know what, let's tap into this greatness that these people have. And let's make sure that we're allowing them give us the best of who they are. Do you know the kind of competition that will produce all round? But no, everybody wants to feel superior. Everybody wants to feel, it doesn't work like that. Uwa, you say any hope of Aswen Igodalo winning in the court? Now, all those Adams Oshomale, they in charge of Edo. No be okay. Sorry if you have already. Yeah, no problem. We still talk about any hope of Aswen. I don't know. People are hopeful. A lot of people are hopeful. I have not been following the court case because not after 2023. I'm not about to put myself through that emotional roller coaster. So I excused myself after the election when I saw that they had stolen the election from Aswen. I was like, that's it, I'm done, right? So, but I'm seeing these videos and it's alarming how much they were able to rig, in your face rigging, like in your face. They were like literally rigging. You understand? Like it was so bad. The rigging was so bad. It was shameful. Okay. So that kind of blatant rigging, it's hard. I don't know how they're going to get out of it. Hey, but this is Nigeria. Anything can happen. Magic. And I'm glad that the man who gave that interview was naming names. You got to name people and shame them. We have to get into the habit, especially when you have the opportunity to be on national news, when you know what's going on. Name the people, shame them. Name them so that people can drag their knickers. We need to do that more. You understand? So I don't know if he's going to win. A lot of people that I've spoken to, that I've had the opportunity to talk to, they have confidence. I don't. So I'm just like, sit down, look, now be monkey business. That's what I'm doing. You understand? So I'm not putting my hopes up. I'm just observing to see what's about it. The interview was quite interesting. I was very happy. It was detailed analysis and breakdown of the kind. I mean, can you imagine in some senatorial districts, APC actually won, but they still cheated. They still added. It was almost like, let's just add these numbers to every senatorial. It's crazy. Yeah, exactly. I loved it so much. After listening to it, I was like, no, I got to talk about that's what brought me out this evening. This is exactly what brought that Edo election. Oh my God. You understand? It's what brought me out. Because we got to do better. And in Edo, we have so many groups in Edo, so many ethnic groups. I've never seen, we have Ora, we have Esako, we have Akoko Edo, we have, which other tribe is there? Okay, of course, Esan, right? You have all these groups in one state. Why don't you find a name that unifies? It's better to have a name that unifies than rather than choose a name of one particular group to name everybody else. It's wrong. It's very wrong, my opinion. Absolutely wrong. I don't know why people fold their hand and watch these things. Well, you can say, oh, me too. Why didn't I say something? I didn't know anything about it. I wasn't politically, I didn't know, I wasn't aware politically about these things. And I didn't know, but how, I mean, as a father, right? Also, I'm speaking to all the elders now in the so-called Edo, everybody knows where they come from, right? How can a group say no, name the state this, and everybody accepts? It makes no sense. There's no unity in that. What you're doing is dividing the people, right? And it's almost like you're putting a group of people ahead of others, which is not true. Nobody is ahead, nobody is below. Everybody is the same. You pull your weight. So when you do that, you set the people up against themselves. You give some people a sense of superiority, which is wrong because they ain't better than anybody else, right? So that's what I see happening in the Edo election, and it's sad. It's sad. There's agitation in Edo State right now because a lot of people are not happy. A lot of people are talking about breaking away. I know ASAP people are saying they want to leave. I've heard that. I can't say I haven't heard. I have. And I'm just like, damn, do we have to get to this place? You know, and I hear some people saying, oh, you know, they want a situation like the what they have in England, where you have the palace, you have King Charles, and then you have the Prime Minister. Do you know how much the British people hate that? British people are looking for a way to stop paying these royal people and have them go and get job and work like every other place. You now want us to go back to God knows. I don't even know. My father wasn't even born that time. Or maybe my great grandfather self, maybe in only small see. You want me to go? It's not possible, man. Everybody has their freedom. If you want that, then go with the people who want it and be in your community and be doing what you want to do. Don't lump everybody else together. Because I personally certainly don't want to be a part of that. That's bullshit. Why? Everybody should pull their weight. Okay? Who sabi pass? Okay, fine. Because it doesn't make sense. Why will I now start bowing down to no? I have my own king. And I respect my king. Everybody hold your king, man. Shoot. How many communities do we have in the different tribes within Edo State? Every tribe has their own king. And every tribe respects their king. So you can respect your king in your parlor. Don't bring that bullshit to somebody else. They have theirs too. I have my king too. I'm not just into all of that. Like, I don't familiarize myself. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I don't know my king by, you know, I don't know him one-on-one or whatever, but I've heard of his name and stuff like that. I don't associate to that extent, you know, but I see the unfairness. And it has gone on for so long. And it's sad that a lot of us don't even talk about it. We just brush it aside, you know, and it's wrong. We cannot live life like that. If we're going to remain together, we have to find a way to bring people together so that that agitation is reduced and people don't feel like they're stepchildren. That's how it is. That's what I'm observing from observing what's going on in those states and everything. You know, people are fighting each other, getting angry. It's not supposed to be. First of all, I think that the real problem is, first of all, changing that name. That name is so unfair and so wrong that you will name a state over one group is wrong. Very wrong. All shades of wrong. You can pick a name that unifies everybody within that geography, right? Rather than pick and then, it's almost like you're setting a group up, like putting them above the rest, which they are not above the rest. They're not. They're just human beings like everybody else. So that's a problem in and of itself. And then it's very difficult for you when you now come out and say, oh, we are one, or pamahi. To me, I don't see that. If you ask me, if anybody comes to me and say, oh, do you think no, we're not. Because the last election proved it. 100%. 100%. The last election exposed the filth, the injustice, the unfairness, the inequity in that state. It's sad. That's where I come from. But truth has to be told. As hard as it is, I don't normally talk about Edo election because I don't want to rob anybody of the wrong way. But I think it's time for us to speak the truth. Right? You cannot name a state, right, with the name of a group of one tribe is wrong, 100%. That is avenue. You have created division just by doing that. Okay? If you want a community, a state to thrive, you look for a name that's independent of all those communities, or come together with the elders and say, what name should we name this state? So everybody feels like they belong. Then let them choose. Right? They have elders, they have all the traditional leaders. You can, talk to them and ask them. You can't name a state with another tribe and expect other people to feel like they belong. They don't belong. And then the last election showed me and exposed to me that we're not one. It's a lie from the pit of hell. There certainly has been animosity for a very long time that I came to find out. It's bullshit. It's all BS. You understand? So for me, that's how I feel about the Edo thing. I wish Aswe well. He was the most qualified, absolutely the best of all the candidates. Absolutely. He lived there for dust, both candidates. Completely. Nothing left. That man was the absolutely best for Edo State. Right? So what some people try to do was gaslight. Right? Say gaslighting people. And this is why it took me a while to even make a decision to support Aswan, because I really didn't want to be a part of it. I wanted to stand aside and just, let people do their thing. But the unfairness was so surreal. I started hearing things I'd never heard in my life. After all, how many percent be ESA? Not only 15. What can 15% do? Chai, my head scatter. I say, what? I actually challenged the person who said it. I said, how can you say that? A group of people, you call them 15%, that what can 15% do? I mean, the election is over now, but we have to address these issues. If we're going to remain, if they want to remain as one, all the tribes, they want to remain as one because everybody is so divided right now, these issues need to be trashed. You can't be calling somebody else, another tribe that has been on that soil for at least for 10th century. They've been there. You cannot tell them, the original owners of the land, that they are 10%. I'm sorry. You can't do that. That's disrespectful. Okay, number one. And then I heard, for the first time in my life, if you see an Esan person and you see a snake, you unalive the Esan. I was shocked. I was like, what the hell? Are you kidding me? Where is all of this? I even used to caution some of them. Then I was on Twitter. I said, what are you guys why are you doing this over an election? Election is going to be over. How are you guys going to mend this? After saying this, I am hurt by those. And then I was waiting for their beloved candidate, Olumide Akpata, to even have the maturity and the social awareness, right? And be able to feel the emotions of people and say, you know what, I need to handle this in such a way that I carry everybody along. But he failed miserably doing that. He failed completely. I waited for him. First time he came, I listened to him. Somebody asked him the question, like, the way he brushed that question aside, I was like, I was shocked. I'm not going to lie. I was really shocked by the Edo election. I'm just going to put it out there. I was really, really shocked about a lot of things that I saw and I observed, right? Because it was my first time experiencing it, right? So the second time, the same question came up. He just pushed it aside like it didn't matter. And then then one time he made an attempt to answer the question. He said, well, it's a gentleman's agreement, really, between the old folks, meaning the old parties that have been there. That it's something you just agreed amongst themselves to do. Okay, you acknowledge that. Having acknowledged that, why don't you say something that's going to make everybody feel like they're one? He didn't do that. He totally fumbled that opportunity. I'm telling you right now, if that man had handled those issues, first of all, he had no business even being in the ticket. As I came to understand, he had if we were Opamahi, he would have stepped down and made sure he would have ensured that it was the person, an Asa man, that was there. It's just a fact. Now, it's not only some people that is in that. For me, I don't care who rules, as long as you do the good job. I don't care. My own is let the state grow and let the purpose of the state come out. There's so much potential in Edo State. So I really did not care, to be honest. But when I started observing all that madness, I was like, oh, hell no. Really? To hell with you. To hell with you. Are you kidding me? You can't do that to a people. I don't care if they are 12 in a community. You respect them. You treat them like they are the most important people. Seriously. The way you treat them, they will feel so important, like, especially you're coming in for the first time. The way you will have the people wrapped around your finger like this. Everywhere you go, they'll be shouting, they'll be hailing you, since you chose to come out and do it. So, I mean, I say, miss me all the bullshit. We ain't won. Sadly, that's just the truth. Yeah, like I said, it's not only some people that is there. It's not only Bini people that are there. There's Afema, there's Esako, there's Onwa. I don't know if I'm saying the same thing. There's Ora, there's Akoko Edo, right? Those people, have they had the opportunity to even govern? That's the question. Have they had the opportunity? We've had what? How many Bini governors? I started doing my own research. How many? And how has the state improved? I'm not saying that, maybe they did something they did not. I'm just saying we've had governors from a particular tribe for so long. How have you improved the state such that everybody within that state feels like their family? How? LB goofed by presenting Akpata. They failed woeful. Did you see? It was evident with the votes. 1,200, 300. In fact, in his own polling unit, they beat him. Biggest mistake ever. Labour Party had the opportunity, the golden opportunity, right, to be one of the feared, like the fiercest and the most feared party that just emerged. Greed, gluttony they did not allow the potential of LP to come out and flourish. The inability to envision and look beyond what is going into my pockets and what I will put in my mouth. That's what killed LP. And they now buried themselves by putting Olumide Akpata. That was the end. I knew that they were not going to go anywhere with that. And the man was not even helping them at all by even doing what he needed to do. Nothing. It was a shame to watch. And then to now find out the same people who were saying, oh yeah, it's fairness, equity, and justice, were now the ones pushing. Why? Because he comes from their own place. Now they will gaslight you. They were now gaslighting some people are saying, hey, you people are doing tribalism. I'm like, hello? Are you for real right now? You guys know this person stands heads and shoulders above your Akpata. With respect to him, I don't have anything against him. I don't know him. Okay? You say no. You want to spite yourself. Let's do it anyhow. Hey, you people now have somebody there, and you're not turn around and say, Shebi, you want Esa. No. You made that happen. Some people wanted the best. They presented the best, but you made it happen because you wanted to push your tribe. That's what happened. Now, that's not to say that Lord, and I have to really, really appreciate a lot of Benin brothers and sisters that supported Aswe. Oh my God, I have friends who are from Benin. I didn't even, actually, it was most of them that actually got me to support Aswe. To be honest with you, they were the ones giving me his CV, talking to me about it. Because I really wanted to remove myself from the election completely and just divorce myself from him, right? And just be neutral. But they were like, no, man, no, you can't do that. They were Benin friends that I had. They were the ones telling me, sending me videos, sharing. You understand? So I'm sure some of them are listening to me right now, and they share the same. This is something we've had conversations about openly. So I'm not here. I'm not coming for anybody. I'm just speaking my mind as to what I observed during that Edo election. I think it's a shame. I think it's disappointing and embarrassing that I've now noticed a lot of hypocrites, the same people that we've stood together and fought for Peter Obi. They now turned around and became hypocrites. Real life, in your face hypocrites. That's what they became. Like for me, I don't give a damn. What's fair is fair. What is right is right. I stand for fairness, equity, and justice and inclusivity. That's what I stand on. I stand on the truth. If you've made an agreement with someone and you say, you know what, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to share. I'm going to do this, right? And then after you're done with your turn, I'm going to come in. That should be what should happen. Don't now, when the opportunity now comes, you want to turn it around and then you want to gaslight people and think that you're smart. Nah, it's not going to fly. It's not going to fly. That's why we're having all these agitations now, because guess what? The election exposed all the lies. It exposed that bullshit about Okpama. We are not Okpa. We ain't. It's the truth. We're not. Everything that was done in the last election showed that we're not one. Let's stop deceiving ourselves and say it as it is. I grew up hearing Esang Bedo. Matter of fact, I have an auntie who married a man whose last name is Esang Bedo. Edo Egbesa. I grew up hearing it. So when I see anybody from the region at all. To me, you are a brother, you're a sister, even till now. But after that election, oh no, 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 no. You can't tell me lies. You cannot bullshit me. You can't mess with me in my face. Nah, don't play in my face. Don't. If you say we're one, show it. Don't just say it. Show it. If you can't show it, then you're not for real. You're fake. And you're a hypocrite. It's simple. So that's what I think about that election. Let's see. Oh my God, Uwa, you've been engaging. Thank you. Exactly. That name is problematic. I'm with you on the name they should have chosen. I'm telling you, a name that will, envelope, so that when you say to me, like, I'm part of this. Remember when it was Bendel State? It was Bendel, we knew, because, and then Delta joined together. Everybody was everybody was fine with it, Now, you want to choose a name, come on now. The other tribes, they follow come. No, they not follow come, man. As they born Una, now so they born other people. So instead of them to sit down and say, no, let's look for a name. And I'm wondering why nobody ever thought about that. For those who were engaged in this state naming, I wonder why. It's messed up. It just shows the level of, it actually reveals the evil that we are currently experiencing in Nigeria. It's in every sector. It's in every state. It's not just national. It's in every ethnic group. You sit down and you say, instead of you to think like, nah, we can't do that. It won't be fair on others. That's not kind of right. Put yourself in other people's shoes and say, if a state is named about, named solely, right? If a state is named solely, according to one singular tribe, how would you feel? You that you want to name your own state, name the state your own. Ask yourself how, because I remember when the election was coming up, right? I actually had a space at the beginning, and they were talking about, that was where it was really getting insulted. They were really insulting Esan people. So I had a space and I was like, wait a minute. I asked some of the Benin people that came in, I said, if the situation was flipped and it was your turn on fairness, equity, justice, and inclusivity to run as governor, would you give up your opportunity? They said no. They said, no, everywhere go scatter now. Okay, so who be fool? You see what I mean? Like, who's the fool? You see everybody everywhere go scatter because you don't want it. But it's somebody's turn. You now helping out bungled it by pushing for an Edo candidate, which was wrong. That one, in my mind, I said, these people have failed already. But of course, they were having a party about it. And they were saying all manner of things about Asian people, insults, denigration, a lot of things I can't even repeat. Do you understand? So that opened my eyes. I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. And for me, I can't stand for injustice. I will not, I don't care whose horse is God. I will not stand for it. I will stand on the truth at all times. It's not because, why did I not support Monday? If he was an Esa agenda, I could have supported him now, and I'll be running as, Esa, I beg you, let anyone. I wasn't. I did not want him. Because I don't feel like he has the capacity to do it. I don't think he has what it takes. I know who I supported this man because he has a full resume. His heart is with the people. He wants to work for the people. That's what I care about. You understand? But of course, even if you say this, there are people who are still going to run with the narrative that, oh, it's because of your tribe. Do I give a damn? No, I don't. If that's what floats your boat and that's what you want to run with, have at it. But don't come for me, because if you do, I can be just as mad. I can match your energy 100%. Okay? Don't let this face fool you. because I see how they've all been moving. Don't. That being said, yeah, exactly. I'm with you on this, on the name Edo. They should have chosen a more, yes, absolutely. It really it still bothers me. Like, why? So because of that, I really don't call myself Edo. I rather call myself Esan, because I don't want my own tribe to disappear under a name that I wasn't there when they chose. No, I wasn't asked. You just gave it a name because you feel like every other person there is a slave. Hell no, I wasn't born a slave. None of my ancestors were born slaves. So why should I now? Oh, hell no. Let's respect each other. We're in the same geographical location. Let's respect each other. It's that simple. Okay. Maybe Ogiso, Edo State. Yeah, right? Okay. Yeah. We could go back to those names. Ogiso, Edo State. Yep. We could go back to the historical names that we're known for. Rather than just pick one random name from somewhere because you want to have superiority, you have political plans, you have a more sinister plan and plot behind the veil that nobody is seeing. It's not going to fly. Everybody's eyes open now. Okay? Now, let's see. We should just start naming the names of people that have embezzled. Exactly. We really should. The names that have embezzled Nigeria from the 60s to date. Traditional leaders, number 1. Pastors, number 2. Politicians, in whatever order. All of them. And put their name on social media and discuss their matter. I'm telling you. Maybe I will start with that one. We'll be naming them and talking about them. When you done for south from Benin, Esan, Urubu, Onitsha, Oguta, Okpamahi. Okpamahi in the whole of Nigeria. That's the funny thing. Because you know what? If there's something they do everybody DNA, your boss say you get Hausa inside your DNA. You get Fulani inside your DNA. You get Yoruba inside your DNA. You get Igbo inside your DNA. I'm telling you facts. You'll be amazed that maybe you don't even belong, the region you are in, you don't even belong there. You'll be shocked that maybe you are from Kenya. So everybody in that Nigeria, they don't know that they are all related one way or the other. That's the funny thing. But remember back in the day, they used to marry like how many wives? They will just born children, born like 60. You understand? They'll just born community full for grant. You know? Oh, yeah, we are the same. Those that came before us messed us up. They failed in uniting us. Well, yeah, I guess. But okay, if those ones that came before us failed, which I agree with you, right? What about those who came after who knew better? What about those, even up until the last election, who knew better? Who could have used more unifying language, spoke more respectfully, and be aware and sensitive to that? What about those? Right? So from that standpoint, I don't see us as one. I cannot delude myself. I can't. You say we're not one, we're not one. And you have to show me by your actions, but your actions are not matching up with your words. So sorry, we're not one. I don't hate you. That doesn't mean we may not be related. We might be ancestry, right? We might be. We can be, you know, you can be family, you can be brother and sister, you don't quite agree, but you're staying in a different part of town or you're outside of the country, you still have love for each other. You know that, right? So yeah, until the action matches the words, I don't see us as one. Why? The last election, I can't forget in a hurry. Because you know what? Nigerians were very quick at forgetting. No, I have learned to remember. I've learned to remember the silence of my enemies, of my friends. I've learned to remember the words that you spoke. I've learned to remember when it was needed the most. Did you stand on that fairness, equity, justice, and inclusivity like you said? That's what I remember. So until you show me by your actions, I don't believe you. I don't. You understand? So yeah, I agree with you. They should not have even presented him. It should have been Asa all the way because everybody knew that. Everybody knew that. You know? Exactly. He knew exactly what he was doing. And he wasn't even helping, right? He was even making the division even wider with his actions, with his inaction, with his pride, the arrogance of it all. Nah, I'm sorry. Oh my God. I saw it all. I was like, nah, No, I mean, like I said, you have to show me. Words are not enough. No. I've been hearing, you know how long we have been hearing? I said I grew up hearing Okpama. I grew up hearing in my household, they sang Bedu. In my subconscious, no matter what happens, I always see people as my own. So I don't fight you. I won't go out of my way to fight you, cause you harm. You know, if you're not a good person, of course, I'm going to stay away from you, but subconsciously. But do you know what that did to me the last election? It messed that up completely, shattered it from all the observations. It shattered it. I'm like, no, things have to change. We're in this generation, we should do better. So for me, I'm standing on my word. You show me if you're standing on that fairness that you talked about, that you believed in, equity, justice, and inclusivity, stand on it. Then yes, perhaps I will begin to understand, I will begin to believe that, yeah, we're one. Change the name of the state to include everybody else and not just one group of people because they ain't special. Nobody's special. Okay. So if you do that, yeah, maybe I'll start considering. But until then, on our audio, voicemail. You know, so well, I mean, I have respect for the traditional leaders in Edo State, including the Oba. You understand? But all I'm saying is accountability. People need to be accountable, you know, as a traditional leader, because I respect my own traditional leader, even though I've never met him, I don't know him, I'm not, you understand, I'm not in close proximity. However, I do believe that the traditional leaders have to be held to account as well. Nobody is God. You ain't God. You bleed just like every other person. If you want that level of respect, then show it by the love for the people. Show it by making sure that the people are safe in their communities, there's security. Nobody's crying. Nobody's in desperate need to run out of their homes because of insecurity. When you have the capacity to do something, show it, prove it. Okay, there's so many young people, you know, they're idle, they want to do a lot of things. Create Boys and Girls Club. Have, you know, avenues for them to thrive. Build a tech center. Let it be known, oh, this leader, this traditional leader, look at what he's doing for the people. Put yourself out there. Like, you know, I'm not saying like move around. What I mean is help the people. If there are crimes like what was happening recently in Benin with cult activity and all of that, right? Okay, as a traditional leader, not on my watch. This cannot be happening. Who are those responsible? Bring them to my palace. I want peace in my kingdom. That is what I want. You think that if mayhem is going on, as much as the English people are trying to bring down their own palace, they are fighting vigorously because they don't like it at all, because they feel like they're just feeding off the people, right? You think mayhem goes on that the palace is not going to come out and say something? The kind of killings that took place, the cult killings that took place, a traditional leader, because you're closer to the people, you know the families involved, you demand that they come, put some fear in them so that there's peace. Every traditional leader in Nigeria should do that, from the north, from the south, from the east, from the west, wherever. Even if you're a traditional leader in a village, make yourself useful. Protect your people. Have we not heard some of the traditional leaders are the ones who even took money from these bandits and terrorists to come into their communities and unalive people? We've heard that. Some traditional leaders, chiefs, took money and they slaughtered some traditional leaders. We've heard it now. Everybody needs to hold themselves to account. Everybody. Whether you're a traditional ruler or not, one day everybody go, we're all going to go one day, one way or the other. The same way every other person is going to go, right? That's how we're going to go. So what makes you special? It's the respect that people accord to people. You know, that's why I have a problem when people, you know, you praise someone so much, they feel like they're invisible. It's a terrible thing. You're doing a lot of damage to that person, especially if the person is not conscious of it. I'm not saying don't respect your traditional leaders. Please, by all means, respect them, pamper them, do whatever you want to do. However, hold them to account, be critical. In the palace in London, they criticize the palace, they criticize the king, the queen, they drag them. So what are you saying? We are not in the 1500. In case you're looking for the glory days of going back, oh, let's have the mighty kingdom. It ain't gonna happen. That is dead and buried. If you want to have it in your living room. Even my own king in the village, if you come and say, I want, where, from where to where? Who will the people when you want rule over? It's not gonna happen. You know? Trap, okay. Which trap? I know they fall for anybody trap. Oh. Anybody when set trap, you go fall inside by himself. What did I say? I haven't said anything. Everything I've said here is nothing but the plain truth. So what is there? Which person did they set trap for? I don't set trap. No, anybody when they set trap, myself they set trap for. Me, you they talk my own. After all, what do I know? At the end of the day, what do I know? I don't know it all. I don't know it all, right? I can't possibly know it all, right? But when I see the things that are happening around me, I have to say, we call on T-Pain, drag him, talk about T-Pain, a whole president of a country that has all the security apparatus that can do everything. We call him out, okay? Don't we call him out? We call him all manner of names here. No man is superior. I've not called anybody out by their name. I haven't disrespected anybody, right? I'm just speaking the truth as it is, as it's in my heart. Anybody who wants to take offense to it, please, by all means, do. I'm not coming for anybody in particular. I'm just speaking based on my observations and how I feel things should be done. We cannot continue in this trajectory and expect things to move. If we're looking for a new Nigeria, for instance, we all have to make amends in the way we see things and view things and do things. You cannot be shouting fairness and equity when it's your turn, but it comes to somebody else, you turn it around and want to be gaslighting. It's not going to fly. Exactly. Why do you think that happened? The reason why France do that one is because the kings, they were eating to the food. They were wearing things, luxury things, enjoying life. Every other person was impoverished. Isn't that the same thing they did in Russia too? Right? It wasn't called Russia at the time. I forgot what it was called, right? When it was a massive kingdom then. Get to it. This is what I'm saying. It's a warning. If people are paying attention, instead of getting offended, they should go and make amends and say, times are changing. No, we need to know how to put things in place, do things differently. That is what you do. You will be criticized, no matter how well your intentions are, no matter how articulated you are, people are going to find fault with what you say, right? It's not for you to really think about what you said, wait and see, okay, maybe I should have said this better. Maybe I should have put it differently, right? Okay, I want my community to thrive. I really want it to thrive. Well, let me listen to the people and really hear what they're saying. Why do you think there's so much agitation in Nigeria? That's the reason why, because people feel unheard. We have so many tribes in Nigeria that people don't even know about. Do you know how many tribes there in Nigeria? How many of the over 250 tribes, when you know, you fit name for Nigeria? Is it 250? What am I saying? 500? If not, yeah. How many? Those people are not even heard at all. The so-called, what's it called? The three Wazobia is such an error. It is error to just take three out of kingdoms, nations. You just take three and put them above. It is so wrong. That's why I never accept the word minority. Do not put that on me. I never see myself as one. I don't consider myself as one. If you want to be a minority in your living room. I'm not a minority. Are you kidding me? Do you understand? So that alone is a problem. Igala kingdom was a big kingdom at one time. Ibibio, Calabar. Are you kidding me? Heavy kingdoms. So to just come and then you have so many other communities that have their own way of doing things, that are happy with the way they're doing things, and then you just want to lord it over them. There's so many tribes in Nigeria that never make it to the top because guess what? Those larger ones, they just position their people everywhere. So when you see other tribes and you hear it, you're like, oh, really? The only thing you hear, are you Igbo? Are you Yoruba? Are you Hausa? You keep hearing that. Meanwhile, you don't fit into any of those three. It's almost like they want you to disappear into those. I cannot disappear into that. I can't. Exactly. No more monarchy in France since then. It's because the people were angry. They were hungry. They were not being listened to. We're trying to prevent this from happening. That's why there are people like us speaking up, like me. I'm saying my mind now. I'm not coming for anybody. I'm not cursing at anybody. I'm not calling out anybody's name. I'm saying it as it is. If the cap fits, then wear it. Wear it. Take the criticism, go to your people and say, we got to level up. We got to level up. We can't keep doing this. This is not looking good. People ain't happy. Let me tell you, you know what happens in Nigeria? If you're quiet, you disappear. If you're quiet, they just turn you off. The people who speak up the loudest in Nigeria, guess what? They are at the top. Do you know? People who agitate the more have their voices heard the more in Nigeria. So if you belong to a minority and you are quiet when your people are suffering, you will be forever quiet. The day you now say you want to talk, they will silence you. No. We got to be aware in Nigeria. This is why there's docility. Everybody's docile. And people start feeling like, oh, there are a lot of people who don't like to associate with their own tribes. They're ashamed because it's not either Yoruba, it's not Igbo, it's not Hausa. So they associate their tribe, their original tribe, with shame. Do you know how many people I've met from Nigeria that are not either of those groups? When you ask them, they're like, well, I'm kind of close to Yoruba. Meanwhile, they're not. After getting to know them, you find out that they are from maybe Ogoni, or they are from, and you be like Ogoni land. Are you kidding me? Rich, wealthy land. You should proudly declare. Do you know how many people I've met like that, Nigerians? They rather associate with a bigger group to feel along. You should own where you come from, because there's such a thing as what's it called? Representation. There's such a thing as representation. You gotta when you're in the world, recognize that you're representing your ancestors, you're representing your lineage, your tribe, where you come from. That's what and you should proudly declare, even if you're from the smallest group, I'm from so and so, with your head up high. I don't tell people I'm from Yoruba. I mean, I don't associate with any of those tribes. I know where I come from. So with all due respect to the tribes I've mentioned, again, I'm not here to insult anybody or call anybody out by their name. I'm just speaking that we need to really check ourselves. That's why there's a lot of agitation. That is the reason why. The people that are fighting in the north, the terrorists and the bandits that are causing the mayhem in the north, it is suppression that caused it. No recognition, abandonment. That anger, they take their parents from them, take their uncles, take everything they know away from them. How do you want that kind of person to have love in their heart? How? How? That person cannot have love in their heart. You have some people, terrorists will come into a particular community, cleanse the community, unalive everybody in that community. Most of the people in that community. And there's a governor in the state and he's not going to do anything. Please tell me, when that person has the opportunity to agitate, you just say no, go agitate. Isn't that what we are seeing more and more coming out of Nigeria now? Did you guys not see that list of the Biafran, Finland version of Biafra? You don't see the names when they mention, even with some name they inside there. I start to laugh. I say audio. Which make you to say they get 40 states under that one? We know that, yes, it's not going to hold up, but imagine the number of people agitating. That is an example of the number of people agitating. Any leader, political, traditional, pastor, whatever, immediately, oh, you know what? We got to find a solution somehow. People need to be heard. People need to be heard. If you want to live a luxurious life, go get a damn job. Have a business so you can live the life. Build a name for yourself so that, when you enter, they'll say, Oprah Winfrey will not be traditional leader, but only Oprah Winfrey signature for card go open doors. So what are we talking about? I beg. I'm not here to diss anyone. I'm not here to, even me, I'm calling out my leaders. I'm calling out my own traditional leader. What's he doing for my village? What's he doing for my village? Why is he a traditional leader? Where are the youth centers to keep the young people busy so that they don't go and belong to things that they shouldn't belong to? You know how many bright minds are just wasting away, laying idle? And then you have all these terrible people come, initiate them into different types of cults where they are just, you guys heard what happened in, whether is it France or so? It's crazy. This is why I'm saying what I'm saying. So anybody that wants to find it offensive, please, by all means, do. Please do. I want you to be offended. It's intentional. Be offended. Let's all be offended together. Let's all be offended together. Maybe when we are offended, maybe our eye go open, we go clear. We'll know, so we need to fix the home so that we can all have respect for each other's boundaries, respect for each other's culture and ethnic groups, so we can thrive as a society. How about that? Exactly. In the land of my ancestors. You see anything that they talk. My ancestors have been there hundreds, thousands of years before you. I will not come, God forbid. I can't be. I'm my own. I'm a major on my own, major in capital letters underlined. I'm a movement of. I'm a force on my own. You want to wish me? Ow! Spell minority. Spell it. That was a very, very sinister move. Yeah. Uwa, very sinister move. Very, very sinister move. That was wrong. How can you just plaster Wazobia with 500 tribes? That's evil. And then you have leaders that came after. They did not see the error in that. They did not see the error. They didn't say, no, 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 no. We can't do this now. This will swallow up all the other. You understand? No, this is not good. This will swallow up, this one, that one. This will Let's make sure we carry everybody along. Not one of them even thought about it. See how problematic that is? No one of them said, no, no, no. We have to include all the ethnic groups. Let's send people all over to the different communities. Let's take notes of their language, of their tribe, and everything. Take down make sure everybody is numbered and noted, made note of. No. You just want to label everybody. No, I beg, I don't belong to any of the tribes. I have my own tribe and I'm proud of where I come from. Very proud. Okay? I've seen Nigerians here. You ask them, where are you from? First of all, they don't even want to associate with Nigeria, first of all. It's only maybe after they've known you, they now get comfortable. They will now tell you, yeah, they're from here. Like, why? Oh my God, are you serious? I grew up in Lagos, or I grew up in Ondo, I grew up here, I grew up there. So I see myself more like, no, you see, I grew up in Ibadan. I don't see myself more like Ibadan. Do I love Ibadan? Yeah, hell yeah. I have fond memories of growing up in Ibadan. I have fond memories of going to the theater arts in UI to go watch plays. And I have so many fond memories of growing up in Ibadan. But I don't desire. I don't make my own tribe disappear and choose another person's tribe. No. Do I speak the language? Hell yeah. I speak the language and I love Yoruba language. And I'm even happy that I still speak it. I didn't know that. I'm so happy that I kept it and I speak it. You understand? I love the fact that I can speak that, the Yoruba language very well too. And understand the parables too. So, yeah. But I'm proud of where I come from. That's not going to disappear. Never. That's what makes me who I am. That's what makes me different and set apart. I can't go and adopt somebody else's tribe. I will be a visitor forever. I'll be a guest forever. No matter how much I desire to be a part of the tribe, I will always be a guest. It's just that simple. It is what it is. So I don't know. For me personally, I just feel like we can do better. I think our people need to step up. I think that people need to, put your money where your mouth is. If you say you stand for fairness, equity, and justice, you better stand on that. Don't tomorrow turn around and try to gaslight me. It's not going to work. It will not fly. Okay? We can all live together. We can all, respect each other and learn how to use respectful words. I don't care what you call it. Call it political banter. That's bullshit. Bullshit political banter that you use to pull people down, insult them, denigrate them, make them feel less than. Hell no, that's not political banter. That's just outright wickedness and disrespect. Okay? So save me with all of that. Me, I don't talk my mind, dude. I don't care. Anybody when you get any comments, feel free to put your comment in the comment section. I ready for anybody. Now my mind I talk. I don't mention anybody's name. If you feel like your name was mentioned, then the cap fits you. Please indulge me. Enter comment section. May we talk. It's that simple. I want a better country for all. I want a better state for all. I want everybody to feel like they belong. I don't want people to feel like they're stepchildren in their own ancestral homes. Hell no. Why? Before you came, they were there. So why would you want to make people feel like they're what's it called, visitors in their own land? No, now check out. Oh, learn to respect each other. If you come for me, I come for you. Me say get all of us get crease. Now cloths, now they cover all of our crease. All of us, we get crease. Now cloths they cover most of our. Now clothes and makeup, now they cover them. So you don't know whether my own crease pass your own. You understand? So now so you reach. But let's all do better. Everybody should be called out. I don't care who you are. Call you out. You're a human being. Today you are here, tomorrow you are gone. It's simple. Everybody now 6 feet under. There's nobody that's going to fly tomorrow away like a butterfly. Ain't gonna happen. So let's do right by each other and respect each other. So my people, I think I'm going to end it here. God damn, 3.5 hours. Woo! Ooh, and now you keep me for here. I be done wrong. It was because my video was mute. That's oh my god, I'm so sorry, guys. The video was mute in some instances, but a few minutes though, not so long. Hopefully, not too long. So I'm gonna wrap it up right now. Thank you so much for joining me. Special shout out to you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Yeah. Thank you for keeping me engaged in these conversations. Dixon, thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Kenny was here earlier, actually. Kenny, thank you. Greetings to you. I should say, Kenny, don't go enjoy. Don't go mixing in green sand shandy and what was the drink he said? They do champagne that time. Green sand shandy. Hey, I don't forget to green sand shandy and ginger ale. I think that's what he said. Ginger ale. You go disappear in rapture. Okay, now you want to disappear with rapture. All right, so all of us wait for the rapture now. We they wait for the rapture. You disappear with rapture. Okay. You go grow wings. But they look, oh, why is that you? Oh my God. Oh, what? I'm not sure say you go even remember, you're not going to even look down, self, because up you go, right? That's so funny. That's so funny. All right. Well, thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for keeping the conversation, going. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening and a wonderful rest of the day and weekend, actually. And stay warm, oh, the code there these days, it's not for lily livered people. You have to be strong to be able to handle this cold, man. So make sure you keep warm. Make sure you have ginger, lemon in your house. That comes in very handy. Lemon, ginger, and honey and lime. Make sure you have those combinations, and oranges. So you can actually do a recipe with oranges, lemon, ginger. If you have turmeric, throw in turmeric and blend it together into a paste. Put it in a mason jar and take 1 scoop of it. If you are ill, take 1 scoop of it. Put ginger, that ginger is very necessary. And just take 1 scoop. That's your recipe for cold. By the side. See, on top of, I be on the side, dokita. Anyway, thank you so much. You too, Uwa. Thank you so much. Dixon, thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.